Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to the Sizzling News Podcast, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Look, we got a great guest in the building. My guy from Mount Paran, Chuck Frierson. He's going to come on the show, tell us everything going on with Mount Paran as the season is right around the corner. It's September 18th, man. So we're going to have him on the show and talk everything hoops with Mount Paran. But before we bring him on, let me bring on my co-host. And obviously, this is his show, the Hoop Show. I just had to start it up. I know I came here right on time, Bacon Network of Bacon, man. I came right on time. Just got done with the run.
Yes, sir.
Let me go ahead and start it. Let me not waste no time. I know Coach Frierson's on the schedule as well.
All right, for sure. Do your thing, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Let's go and bring on Coach Frierson. What's going on, Coach?
Coach,
how y'all doing? I appreciate it.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Good to see y'all as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Coach Chuck, for those that don't know you, man, that's just tuned into the show, man, just give a little, we know you well, but just give a little background, man, on how you got started in this game and obviously your opportunities with Mount Paran.
Well, I've been coaching at Mount Paran since 2016. Started as a JV coach. Kind of just learned how to coach from one of my great friends, Greg Phillips. He got me into coaching and got the head coaching job in 2022 and been rocking and rolling there since. I mean, my daughter goes to school there. It's home. So that's Mount Paran is home now.
100%. Now, Coach, I want you to talk about, I mean, last year I was chronicling a lot. I was reporting on it, but an incredible run y'all had last year, making history along the way. So if you can just enlighten the folks with just the run you did and all you was able to do for those kids. Because remember, you started, like you said, 2022. Those kids were freshmen, and they had to buy into the culture you was instilling and the different principles you had, man. So just talk a little bit about that aspect and then kind of seeing it come to fruition that final year.
Well, I could go back to year one. We started off, we were 5-21. And when you're asking guys to come in at 6 a.m. and work every morning and then stay after school and lift weights, and then you shoot at night, that's a different buy-in. And at first, it was a little kickback. A lot of people were like, why are y'all doing this? Why are you? I said, give it time. We didn't have too many leaders. I'm fresh.
Oh, man.
Man, he was getting ready to unwind.
I know. I'm sure he'll join us back.
100%. Nah, great guest. Great guest, man.
Yeah, man. This guy's legit, man. He's a man of faith and family. I mean, when you'll hear like when he come back, man. I mean, he's a great guy.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, you said you cut off, but you said I started fresh.
Oh, started fresh, coming off as a JV coach, and you're a cool coach. So you they want to hang out with you, and then that's a different role. So we coming in at 6 a.m. We're doing everything we can. And after year one, they kind of was like, okay, we kind of got a taste of how it feels. And I was blessed to have the kids I had on JV start varsity the next year. So I kind of was coaching them, being their head coach from the day they walked into high school. And we jumped into a new region. We were playing all the Atlanta public schools, and we were getting beat up a little bit. And I got some good advice from some of those coaches. They said, just keep doing what you're doing. And at night, when you lose a couple of games by 20 or 30 points to some of these good teams, keep doing what you're doing. Don't sound good. But we found a way. And then last year, everything came into place. Those freshmen were seniors. Those sophomores were seniors at that point, and they understood what it took, and they got a taste of winning. When you get rolling, you just got to be the last man standing and outplay everybody. On paper, we will never pass the eye test. I kind of like it that way. I like coming in the gym and people.
Come on, internet. Yeah. Oh.
Man, what's this, ladies and gentlemen? It's gonna be a lot of gems, and when I can just tell.
Damn.
Coach will be back with this probably just a second, man. I know you probably just frustrated. Man, I can't get going for stopping. But no, we appreciate everybody who's tuned in right now, man. Sit tight. You know what I'm saying? There's a chance to go to the bathroom, go get your popcorn, whatever you eat, and put your feet up, man. Real talk.
You're clouding.
Now, I definitely want to get his take on, you know what I'm saying, Shane, TJ, and the whole crew for real.
Sorry about that.
No worries, folks. Sorry, it's the internet connection, man. All good. But now,
Yeah, I had to switch it up a little bit.
yes, sir. No, but I think you left off, Coach. You was talking about you was going kind of in depth of the senior year.
Yeah, our senior year we kind of switched over to just not making excuses, and they kind of saw a little bit of success, and they bought into it. At 6 a.m., they loved it. So coming in at 6 a.m., they started working out, and they really, and I mean really bought into doing everything at 6 a.m. and shooting extra, coming in every day and calling me at 8 at night saying, Coach, can we get in at 5 a.m.? And I'm like, nah, let's wait until 6. And you get there and kids are beating you. They're flicking on the lights at 5:30. And at that point, I kind of was like, yeah, we got something rolling. It's special.
100%, Coach. Now, obviously, I know you turned the page now, so let's go to kind of the spring, summer. Obviously, a phenomenal year for you guys, but a new roster, right? Obviously,
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about Shane and some of the other guys I know Bacon want to ask you about. But tell me, how has it been for you as a coach, just turning that page and trying to really develop some new talent coming in because they're gonna play some bigger roles for you?
Well, I've always been praying like, yeah, I love having a guy. Just give me a young team. I get them again. I get to rock and roll. But when you finally get a young team, you're getting a young team. So they're learning how to play. They're learning how to adapt to different situations. And I'm learning as well as they are. Like, it's fun to have them because they're going to run through a wall for you, but you're teaching them the game as it's going on. It's a big jump from 8th grade basketball to playing varsity minutes. And it's also a big jump from being the 8th man on a 10-man team to being a starting point guard or a starting small forward. So they're buying into it. They saw the road we went through, but I honestly think what we went through last year, it wasn't just 10 to 12 guys going through it. It was a whole school going through it. So they should be ready for it. The spring was fun. The summer was a growing pain, but I think we're ready.
Now, speaking of that, so give us a timeline now. Like, what's going on now? Has fall camp begun? If not, when does it begin? And if when you have trials, what does that timeline kind of look like as the season kind of approaches?
Okay, well, you'll think I'm crazy. We started school, I think, let me get that right, the first week in August.
Yep.
That first Thursday in August, we started working out that first Monday.
Oh, you ain't playing. Oh, you
No,
ain't playing, Coach.
I'm not playing. So we start conditioning. We start our 4v1s. We started lifting weights. I'm a junkie when it comes to it. I just want to get in the gym. It's kind of like the fellowship we get together. I'm learning how to be a better man and a better dad, better Christian around them kids. And it's kind of like our therapy. We have a rough day. Let's get in the gym together. So with that being said, we've been rocking and rolling since the 3rd day of school.
I love it, man. So Coach, I want to ask. I hope this is not a ill-placed question, but I know Coach Carlos Wallace and obviously a former player for you were big in terms of being distance, giving you a different look. But I know Coach Wallace not coaching with you this year. So how have you been just trying to like fill that void and just trying to throw ideas off? I know you guys worked in unison a lot, and it led to the success of this program too.
Oh, right. I got the utmost respect for Coach Wallace. He taught me so many things in the 2 years we spent together. I feel like he came in my life at the right time and showed me some things. And he put me, one thing I can say, he always held me accountable on things, and I held him accountable. And he was a big blessing. And losing 3 seniors and Coach Wallace has been things, but they all taught us things. And we're filling that void with younger guys, players wise, and I got some great assistants with me. I have Coach Hosley, Coach Guinea from KSU, Coach Alexander, who's going to shock a lot of people. I thought I had a lot of basketball knowledge, but he coming back with NBA experience and everything, and he just want to give back to the community. So I think everything that Coach Wallace has instilled in us and handed over so much wisdom to us has been one of those things where I can keep giving to the kids. It's one of those things. It's a blessing. When people come in your life, they make you better, man. You can't do nothing about it, but just get better at it.
Yes, sir. Last one, I'm gonna throw it to Bacon. I know you want to ask about the kids. For you, Coach, what's some of the biggest lessons you've learned? Just coaching? It could be now, it could be, in the past, but what's some of the biggest lessons you've learned that's helped you just better as a man as well?
You don't know nothing until you go through adversity. You have nothing. I can speak on myself. I played D2 basketball. I played 11 years professionally in Europe. When I got into coaching, I'm a newbie. So it's like you're learning these things, and I think you're never above the situation. I think coaching JV basketball taught me a lot, and you can learn from any situation. I literally remember year 2, I had a dad sit behind me and said, "I think the slip is open." I'm in the middle of a game. I got Chris Park, one of the best point guards I've ever coached and been around. And he like, "Coach, I think the slip open." And you hear a lot of things. And the first time he said it, my ears kind of perked up. Now, this is a dad at our school, great guy. I dap him up in car line. He never talked to me about basketball. His kids are in my class. "Coach, hit the slip." I went in the huddle. I looked. It happened 2 or 3 times where I didn't hit the slip. And I said, "I'm about to hit this slip." I said, "What we got to lose?" Hit the slip. I looked at him. He looked at me. And I was like, "Oh, this is real." So I'm saying all this. You never know where you're going to learn from. I guess somebody said, "Man, I guess God was like, Chuck, you can't lose this game tonight, baby. Let me put somebody behind you to know what's going on, because you done ran the same play and you keep getting the same reaction." So we hit the slip. We kept getting it, and Cam kept scoring off of the same possession. And I looked at him and I was like, yeah, that was like, if I was in a big arena, I probably only heard that voice. So to land this plane, I think you can learn from anything. Like, I learned from so many different people, and it's funny, they try to approach me and say, "Well, you played, you did this." Okay, but I can learn from you too. Like, you're never above that. Somebody gonna give you some advice. You just gotta have a willingness to learn and just move forward.
Great answer. Go ahead, baby.
Hit the slip. I like that, man. Coach, I ain't gonna beat around the bush, man. I gotta ask you about Shane Goins. You know what I'm saying? Top 60 was that top 60? Yeah, but just another year under the program. Just what have you seen about his game that's different this year?
Well, I got to cut you off. He better than top 60. He probably top 5, but I'm biased. I see him every day. I mean, he's a workhorse. He's one of those kids. You got to kind of kick him out the gym, and he will play one-on-one and shoot after practice. He's a perfectionist. Year 1, he came into the program as just a flat-out scorer. I could have easily started him as a freshman, and he probably would have averaged 20, and he would have been one of those kids that break a ton of records. But I know, hindsight, looking at it now, it worked out. Thank God it did, because if you don't start a kid with that talent, you're crazy. Right. But he ended up growing into a phenomenal team player. And every Tuesday night in Fall League, he grows into a different type of player, and he's at 6'3", at 15 years old, he probably gonna get to 6'5" and play the 1 and 2. I think he's gonna be one of the top players to ever come out of Georgia, because he can shoot the basketball and he's just getting started. And he's becoming a willing passer and a very good defender. But he's 15, so some days he's gonna have those days where you're like, "Coach, my shot not falling." And the advice I get at him and JT and the others is, if your shot not falling, can you still be a great player to get us a win? And he's learning that. And now you've seen him during the summer. He will do things that will make you, as a coach, become a fan. Mm-hmm. He will dunk on somebody. He will get a steal. He'll throw a bounce pass from 40 feet, and he'll still have the same face, and then he'll scream one time the whole game, and that's all you hear from him. But I think in the past, let's say about 4 months, he's grown into not just a young kid, he's a young man right now.
So I got to ask, Coach, what was your thought process of why didn't you start him last year?
I had 3 seniors he had to learn from. And to be honest with you, I used him as a secret weapon. Selfishly, I don't think nobody off the bench was better than him. Nobody in the state better than him off the bench. I got a 14-year-old kid that can light up anybody. And we hit him. And when you talk to fellow coaches, they always said, "Oh man, you was hiding them." And then me and Shane grew in the rapport and the trust. And I was like, "Hey, I don't think their sixth, seventh, and eighth man when they come off the bench are nowhere close to you. Go to work."
Mm.
And he would go to work, and the older guys took him under the wing. And one thing I could tell you, he lives for the moments. And I don't think it's a moment too big for the kid. Like, it could be 9,000 people in the gym. He gonna shoot that 35-foot three. It could be 9 people in the gym. He gonna shoot. He's the same player, but he lives for those moments. And coming off the bench, he was our secret weapon. That's the reason we got to the Final Four. We had weapons, and he was a hidden weapon. But you can't hide nobody like that no more.
Nah.
Everybody know now.
Yeah,
The jig is up for sure.
yeah, the jig is up.
I got another name, TJ Scott. When you hear that name, what comes to mind, Coach?
Oh, JT Scott. So
JT, sorry.
yeah, JT is different. That's my guy. I've known JT since the 7th grade. I look at him like I seen the maturation of him, and it's like he's explosive. Like last year, if we didn't have those 3 seniors, he averaged 20 plus a game. And at 6 feet with a 41-inch vertical and the heart of a lion, I think he's better than what people rank him at. He is a stone cold competitor. He can play off the bounce. And as you can tell, like I rave about our boys, but I rave about him a little differently because I've seen his growth. I saw him in middle school just be a flat out scorer, dominate middle school games, score a ton of points. And you're like, man, he gonna average so many points. And then he became probably the best defender and one of the best scorers we've ever had at the school. And him and Shane kind of bounce off of each other. And one game during the summer against some 6A school we played at Kennesaw, it looked like everybody was focusing on Shane after he could hit a couple of shots. But when you hear a coach on the other end say, get JT because JT is the engine. He's the heart of the team. And I told him this a couple of days ago. We go as far as you want us to go. I could draw everything up, but when you flick the switch, we there. And ever since then, he been winning every sprint. I know some other guys beat him some days, but he's a competitor. He wants to win. He's growing up into a young man. And I think any college coach that gets him is going to be excited to have him.
I'm hearing like a Shea Gilgeous, maybe J Dub type of maybe match here. Am I wrong? Am I wrong saying that?
If I
see it in his face.
I see a lot of Dame and CJ McCollum.
Okay.
Okay.
I see Dame and CJ because I think on paper everybody looking at Shane and he do the Dame stuff. He gonna hit that night shot. He gonna do it. But when those two rolling, I got the best backcourt in the state. I do. And I got another little guy with us, Landon Breckley, that when all 3 of those clicking, I don't think nobody gonna mess with us. I live and die with our work ethic. And they come in at 6 a.m. and it's just an added weapon. But those two together, one, I think they can beat anybody in the world. 2, I think they tougher than everybody. So that's a big thing. And they're not super big, but they got this heart of a lion mentality. And I wish I could say I instilled that in them. But God gave me two silent assassins. I got one that won't say one word, and I got one that'll talk to anybody. So I put them two together. I think we're going to be straight.
All right, Shane, JT, you know what I mean? Went to the Final Four last year, lost to Holy Innocents. How far do you think you can go this year with those two, or just with the whole team collectively?
Oh, wow. That's a big one. Right. It's easy for me to say we could do the same thing because I got that confidence in them. But right now, I think we can compete in one of the best regions. God willing, we can make one of these magical runs. I know I got a lot more energy to do that again because with this team, these young boys, I got 2 years with the youngest group, no seniors on my roster.
Right,
Wow.
right.
Yeah, not one senior. So I got 2 years with this group, and I think we can shock a lot of people. I can't put a destination on it God willing, it's the state title, but I ran into the boogeyman last year.
Right.
That boy different.
That boy is different.
He's different. Like that was I walked into that game and I said, yeah, Caleb Wilson is good, but when you walk next to a humble kid that's hitting bank threes, step back threes,
Nothing you can do.
all
Can't do.
you can't do nothing about it.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I think we can make a run. God willing, we can sneak up on some people. Like I said, I want to come in as the underdog again, but it's hard when you win the region and win the region tournament and do all that stuff. But you just got to come in with an edge, and I think we can do it again.
100%, coach. You know what I mean? Close. There were losses, but close losses last year to a talented Hillgrove team. We all know about Mount Vernon, what they got going on. So I'm sure y'all be back in the mix again this year. But two more questions before I throw it back to Najeh. You know, still a young man. Are you still getting active? You know what I'm saying? Defensive slide with the guys
Right.
during practice.
I got to.
Yes, sir.
I'm not playing one-on-one with them because if they beat me, oh, it's a wrap. It's one kid I got right now. I know he can't wait to dunk on me. It's Dylan Binion. He try to dunk on everybody. If him or Shane or JT dunk on me, they going to find y'all on Instagram or something and say, look at this video because the camera going to be there. I know how it go. So I'm all in it. I get to the ground with them, work out with them. It's fun. It's fun. It keep you young.
100%. So, you know what I'm saying? Keeps you young. You know what I mean? You grow mentally, physically, and spiritually as a coach. But are there any extra things that, you know what I'm saying, keeps you going back to the coaching thing, or do you one day want to go to the next level?
I'm home.
Okay.
I was always taught, enjoy where your feet is planted. I got a daughter. She in second grade. She love it there. I got a headmaster. I got that support me. He coming to the games. I teach elementary PE. So half of the kids, my goal is my kindergarten through fifth. They say they want to play for me. So I'm here. I'm here. Like I love the grind of being a high school coach at this level. It's a blessing. I'm learning every day. It humbles you. Trust me. Most people say, Coach Frierson, Coach Chuck. I got second graders calling me Coach French Fry at a basketball game. You can't do nothing but be humble. Like it's home, and I'm comfortable. And I won't say comfortable in a way I don't have anything to strive for, but I want to be the coach that impact these kids' lives. And I think God put me in the right place, and it's home. My wife is an ambassador at the school. My daughter is a second grader, so I don't know if I can ever duplicate the happiness I have in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, not too many people can say, oh, I got my daughter in class, and my daughter say, hey, daddy, you my favorite teacher. Like, hey, she my agent. She love the school. I love the school. When I got her there, I said, yeah, this home, this good.
Deeply rooted. I like that.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I know y'all got some big showcases. I know y'all got some big things coming up this year, man. So give us a 4-1-1. Give us kind of an inside look of big showcases, teams, whatever y'all gonna be in this season for basketball.
All right, so this upcoming season, we start off at Kennesaw Mountain. I think that's one of the most hidden gem teams in the whole state. They got some players. Like Coach Fisher got his boys rocking and rolling. They got a couple of guys. Then after that, we go to the Powder Springs Showcase. And, Hillgrove, we lost to them very close game. But, that's going to be good. We got some good games. And then Thanksgiving, we're going to play at the Hoya Thanksgiving shootout. We play against Walton. And he's one of the best coaches I've ever seen. Like, I've seen Division II, I've seen overseas. This guy have his boys rocking and rolling. It don't matter who he have on his thing. So that's a test for me. And then during Christmas, we're going to play in Savannah. And Savannah Christian Classic. That's going to be good for us. Get away, more of a bonding and playing type situation. And MLK shootout, where we get a chance to go up against some more 6As. So we kind of loaded up, and we got the North Georgia report with Coach Penland. I played against him overseas, actually. And then when you fall into this little coaching thing, you kind of run into him again. And he said, I got a showcase. I said, I got some guys. Let's go. But the biggest thing is our region. 1 through, I don't even know if it's 15 teams, 16 teams. It's tough. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's where we grow. I don't think the team we are today will not be as great as I think we can be by February. We're going to grow every day, but we got some heavy hitters. We got Padea, I think CJ Harper, and the wing they got over there are unreal. You know, Mount Vernon is loaded. Mount Bethel was loaded with so is, and then Walker, they're loaded too. Coach Brickhouse bring them boys in there every day. So if I'm not on my P's and Q's, is gonna be rough. But our boys love it. I think we come in as the underdog, and I forgot we got the reigning state champion, best academy in our region as well. So the showcases prepare us for the dogfight we gonna get into, and that's the fun part. And I got a young group, so they're naive to it. They're gonna get punched in the mouth, and then they're gonna come back the next day and fight again. They're resilient, so this team is gonna be different. But I'm learning.
Speaking of, that brings me to my next point in segue. I wanted to ask you, Coach. So, what are those parameters or those qualities you look for in these players? Because I know for certain coaches, like you got to meet this certain criteria, not just grades, but your character on and off the court, how you carry yourself. What are some key things you look for in order to say, "Hey, I'm going to play for Coach Chuck"?
Well, first and foremost, I tell everybody, I'm not for everybody. I'm not. I'm high energy. I'm a 6 a.m. guy. I'm a late night guy. I'm going to expect everything. And I'm not changing the culture, changing the standards for who walks in that building. I'm going to keep it high. And that's the same way I was brought up as a man, as a coach, as a player. If you're trying to build a program, it don't matter who it is, they going to run, they going to defend, and they going to shoot that 3 ball 3 feet behind the line. That's how we going to be. And you're going to be a good man of God. That's who I care about. We could lose every game, but if they walk out and be better young men, I'm happy. And when I look at things like that, I just look at a lot of players that we've had that come through and they just fit the system. They fit what we're doing. Asher Wills, people don't know, but that's one of my closest relationships as a player because now he defends everybody. He's probably the best defender we have. But like as a young man, he's one of the best young men I've ever seen. And that's the criteria I want to see in every young man that come through our program. Be a role model. The buckets are cool. Don't get me wrong. Score 30, win. I'm happy. But you got to be a nice young man because these kids see you. I'm in a K through 12 environment. Our seniors and our kindergartners are in the same building. They gonna walk the same hallways. Some of them use the same locker rooms. We go to chapel. We do all these things intertwined. So if you can't be the role model or I can't be the role model, you're not meant to be a Mount Paran man and a Mount Paran basketball player. And that's what we want to set. So like the basketball side is cool. I could drill you to death. I can have you in there. That's easy. I think everybody can be in there. But for what we do and how to respect and do the right thing, it got to be the thing. Like my daughter thinks she got 15 brothers. Like, and those are the type of kids that you want around. So that's how it is. She thinks she got 15 to 24 brothers every year. She know the roster off and on. She want to be in the interview, but she got to be in bed. So those are the qualities. It's one big happy family. We gonna fight, we gonna argue, but we one family and we stick together.
I respect that, Coach. Let me ask you this. You talked about, so I do want to ask, you talked about going up against some of the best coaches. So for you, I know you mentioned Walton, but in your lifetime, who's the best coach you ever went against? You were just like, man, you know what? I got to just tip the cap. Like, you know, this guy's just another level. What lesson did you learn from that potential?
It was Coach Abney. Coach Abney. Coach Abney. Walton's coach's brother. Coach Abney. I'll never get that Pope. So I'll tell you this story. First year, we in his showcase. We played Walton. They beat the brakes off of us. And when I mean beat the brakes off, they had Luke Flynn. They trapping. They doing everything. We get smacked. I'm upset. I'm driving the bus home. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, how did he do it? I actually talked to him the next night. He sit down and have a 30-minute conversation with me. He don't know me from the Price of Rice of China. He don't know. He just like, whatever, let's talk. So we sitting there, and then he just giving me game on how it goes, how to build a program. Come in with your middle school, do this, talk to your coaches, make it a family, work hard. Don't change your standards for nothing. So I'm seeing this. This is Pope.
Pope, I ended up playing him last year. He beat me again. This is the guy I can't beat. So he got one kid that was dominant, but he had 8 other kids that ran through a wall from him. He throwing every set. In the back of my mind, you guard Zach, but he running in guys and they playing hard, and I'm just looking at the other side, and I'm like, he didn't dumb himself down for nobody. Whoever walked in that building, they gonna be who they are. They gonna be a Pope young man. They gonna play hard. So from that day, I met him and talked to him, and from afar, I admired him. I think Coach Brickhouse at Walker is the same way. I dap him up, we talk, he give me game, but like it don't matter who he had, they gonna run through a wall, they gonna run you through the wall. So it's those 2 coaches have stood out in my coaching career that have like I've been like, wow, like it don't matter who walked through that building. They've had Division I talent, but their teams are still the same. A down year for them is 18 wins. So you look and you're like, it's not about the players, it's about the culture you create. And that's all I'm about right now. Like winning and going on that run was amazing. I don't know if I ever be able to get that type of euphoria when it comes to winning. Like you winning with your own, you're winning with the kids you've taught in class, you winning with the JV kids that have come through your program. But the one thing is the standard got to stay the same regardless of who in that building. And that's what I'm going to do. And I learned it from those 2 individuals.
Powerful. I'm gonna throw it back to Bacon here in a second. Last one, I want to ask about your front court. Back court is deep, one of the best in the state, as you said, Coach, and I believe you. But front court, how you looking at that position this year?
Mismatch problems. I got Asher Wills, who's 6'4" or 6'5". He'll tell you he's 6'3", but that's a whole different story. He can defend anybody. We call him Slim. He's literally our quiet leader. I say, hey, we running 3 miles. He getting it in 19 minutes. I say we got to run a suicide in 30. He'll get it in 29, and he gonna hold you accountable. So name a big man that can keep up with that can shoot the ball and play off the bounce in our offense. And I probably got the most athletic. We say front court. He's 6'1". Dylan Binion got a 42-inch vertical 43, and he will rip the rim down. So we're literally 5 guards, and I love it that way because I think they're going to rise to the occasion. They did it last year with limited opportunities, and the more I think they're just hungry to compete. And then we got Landon Breckley. I got a 3-headed monster at guard. Actually, I got a 4-headed monster at guard, and my 5-man can handle the ball too. And I might play him on the wing and let him handle the ball because that's what we just trying to create. Unless it's probably some kindergarten that's going to get to 6'10", and I have them in class and I keep them in class. But until then, I think that's just our style right now. But that's our front court.
Gotcha, Coach. So speaking of that, that's another great segue if I bring Bacon in on his questions. I want to just get your take on this, Coach. I mean, you're more astute than we are. I think Sports Center next brought up a really great question. It said, is the center position dissolving? You know, talking about the class of 2024 or class of 2014, excuse me. Jaleel Okafor, Miles Turner, Karl Anthony Towns, and the class of 2026 is just Mika Murinen. Just what's your thoughts? I mean, you kind of alluded to a little bit about, kind of your dominant guard lineup, everybody playing, everybody buying in. But what's your just thoughts on this, Coach? Do you feel like the center position is dissolving in basketball?
I don't think it's dissolving. I just think kids are better. And if you watch the NBA, name a big man that doesn't shoot the 3 or doesn't put the ball on the floor. The game has changed. Everybody is going to that European 5-out style. So the traditional back to the basket big is kind of obsolete because they're going to put you in a pick and roll and make you guard. So you kind of need that athletic type of big man that can do those things. Me personally, I don't think that is dead, but I also don't think that these 6'10" kids are going to limit themselves with the talent they have. I look at Caleb Wilson. He's a guard. Contrary to what people are going to put on ESPN, he's a guard. Or he's a tall, 3-position, skilled phenomenon. That's what I see. And I think that's what's happening. Now, everything is in waves. Remember back in the day, they said the mid-range is the game. Now people are saying just shoot the 3 and shoot layups. So to get back on topic, I think the center position isn't dead, but I just think it has to come back. And I think these young kids we have now, you got to make it more appealing for them. Right now, it's not appealing. They don't want to post up, and if they do, it has to be kind of like a Chet. You get it, you over your shoulder, you fade away. So you got to make the game fun for these kids. These kids are way more talented than when I played. I played against some talented guys that were back to the basket guys, but these kids now are unreal. So you can't limit them. You just got to reinvent the new center position if that make any sense.
It's a great answer, Coach. That's why I wanted to ask you. I think you gave a great answer on that. Go ahead, Bacon.
And to stay on that topic, you talked about the European ball kind of changing the game, and I think Kevin Garnett came out the other day. But people have been talking about over time. Is the AAU basketball in America? Is that the reason why you see people play the 5 out and kind of disregard, you know what I'm saying, the back to the basket game?
I think it's a copycat society. The best thing that ever happened to us was, and I saw it firsthand as a fan of basketball, when we started seeing Team USA don't take the dominant big man on Team USA and take a rim runner and put 4 guards or 4 positionless guys around a big when they had Dwight Howard and Tyson Chandler. That's when I saw the game change. Europe plays that way, and I seen it when I played over there. Every big man can shoot, dribble, pass. They don't really split up the drills. Everybody's doing the same thing. Then at the end, you might put them in a spot. Over here, we're taught you the biggest guy, you play the post. But in reality, one of our biggest guys is Shane at 6'4". Would I be crazy to play him at the 5? Yes, I would. So I try to look at it as a positionless way of going. And sometimes in AAU, they play so many games that they don't get a chance to develop.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the top level AAU teams hiring skills trainers, spending 3 days a week on skills, and then they meet on the weekend and just beat people because they gotta practice. Playing is cool. I think playing is the best thing you could do as a kid. But if you're deficient in an area, you gotta improve. And I think a big thing for them is Europe has brought over a lot of skilled players for the top 450 in the world, and that we're a copycat society, and that's how it works. And guess what? Our big men in the next couple of years will be doing everything. There will be more Kevin Durant's. It was one at Holy Innocents. He's that. So it's going to be more of those kids that can do everything. It's not, if I see another 300-pound, 6'11" kid that's back to the basket and can only jump hook over his right shoulder or left shoulder, I'll be shocked. I don't think those kids is probably 1 out of 5,000 that you'll see like that. They want to go between their legs and make the move. And I understand it. It's just different.
100%. To stay on the European topic, you played overseas, so just how was your experience, and what have you taken from that experience to your, I'm saying, to who you are now as a coach and as a weekend player, I'm assuming?
Yeah, not a weekend no more because I'm a softball dad on the weekends. If y'all didn't know, I'm at Lost Mountain Park every weekend with my daughter, but I'm a shooter every time I get on the court. I'm about to shoot the ball. Like it never leave, and I try to play with the boys a little bit, but that's most of it. But my time in Europe I always wondered like why people were so enamored with the game they played. You brought us over there to be the man, but I got humbled when I went to Serbia and Montenegro. Usually you see the American on the team is the best player. I wasn't the best player. I was a role player. And they said, hey, this is the way you're going to play. And they said, Chuck, for you to stay on the court, you got to do this or we send you home. We cut you. And the buy-in from that made me evolve as a person and as a coach. Like, one, you really not that nice. You just good enough to do it. It's somebody better. And then two, everybody got a role to be successful. Master your role. So I try to bring that with our boys. Everybody does everything. I got a freshman guard that's 5'2". maybe 5'3". He'll hate me in the morning if he sees this. But he gonna have to post up one time. He ain't no different than nobody else. So you got to make everybody in that situation learn every spot, because on any given night you got to do something different. So I always learn that. And another thing is just fellowship and bonding is bigger than playing on the court. I think our success came from being together. It's the little things. And I learned that in Europe. My first couple of years, I never left my apartment. I was Xbox, PS3 or PS2, whatever was out that in. I never left. Or I'd download a movie and I watched it. And I figured out, like, in year 2, you're in a country for 9 to 10 months. You could be at home working a regular job. God bless you to make some good money and play basketball. Go out there and meet these people. I ain't been to Europe since I stopped playing in 2016. So I'm glad I got out of that apartment. So you got to learn. You got to learn and evolve. And I take that in our coaching. Like, we try to get together. We hang out. We watch football together, or we did last year. It's hard when you got all these Georgia fans on your team, and I'm an Ohio State guy. I'm like, hey, I ain't watching no Georgia games, but you know how it go. But, I mean, we get together, we hang out, and we try to build something, because when it's 30 seconds left, you got to trust that person to make the right play. But if you for self and you only thinking of you not going to do the right thing. You might do it once or twice and you might get lucky, but you got to be a band of brothers to win. And I took that from when I played in Europe. We used to eat to death. You got kids 18 playing with pros, 31, 32, 33 years old. We still eating dinner together 3 times a week, going to the movies. That bonding and fellowship is huge. So, and I actually learned that from playing in Europe, and I learned that from Coach Wallace. It's all about being like a family. That's the only way you're going to get there.
100%. So I want to ask also about your coaching style. Like, who do you think you kind of take a lot of things from that you've watched over time?
Probably Tibbs.
Okay, Coach Tibbs. Why?
Love.
And it's the small things. Work your guys as hard as they can. Reward the people that work hard. I'm not taking no player out as hard as they work. I'm evaluating you from that first Monday in August. If you running through those sprints and everything, you playing hard and you performing it, I'm going to give you a chance. The reason that some of my players shoot those shots, they practice them. They're in there every day. So last year, I remember I would get texts from my buddies, hey, man, you only got 8 guys on your team. I said, no, we got 9. But, like, I'm going to run them in the ground, and I'm going to coach that way. And I rather live and die with hard work than sit there and be like, okay, well, you probably didn't work hard, but we going to give you a bone. Nah, you got to reward with people. That's the way life is. So I think it's more Tibbs. And then I'm kind of laid back when it comes to, like, I don't do all the rah-rah stuff. I ain't jumping up and down going crazy. I try to keep it inside. And I think I'm more Tibbs. And when we get in the huddle, I explode for 30 quick seconds, and then we right back to it. So it's probably Tibbs and maybe John Thompson, because I always looked at him as somebody that I wanted to play for in college. Those are my 2 biggest people when it comes to it, because they care more about the young man that you develop. And by the grace of God, they was great coaches. They knew that game, though.
100%. So I'm always trying to learn something new about the basketball game. So, like, what do you do to kind of stay sharp? During the spring, summer months, what are you doing to keep pencil sharp?
Well, pencil sharp, I try. I'm big. You can ask Najee. We play fast. And I got to the point where I got obsessed with teams that played fast. So I looked at every different thing. I would try to study some European teams on the way they moved actions with smaller players and tried to move the ball. I tried to look at our personnel. If you look at our team, we shoot the 3 very well. We're a very good shooting team. We practice that. So I looked at teams like that. And then I caught myself probably, like, as a JV coach, studying some of the WNBA, like, assistant coaches. They're masterminds with that pen. In the NBA, you might call a set. They're so athletic. I can't duplicate that. I can't do a pin down screen and just throw the lob over to a 16 kid. I can't. But I can do some wheel action and then a pick and roll and a flare and make you think. And I see that in the WNBA game. Those women are so talented in what they do. And I'm old school. I go back. I always looked at like Nolan Richardson. I always thought he was the coach to be. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and I loved Bobby Huggins. Like, love him to death. Like his basketball and the way he had guys like Steve Logan and Kenyon Martin and DeMar Johnson and Kenny Satterfield play that up tempo. Like, that's the style. So I go back and look at those things to try to sharpen it up. But I try to learn. Like my biggest thing this offseason, we had a school, the Villages. They came to use our gym. I spent 45 minutes watching they practice. I'm looking at things that he got. I called him and texted him. I said, hey, how do you make your team play faster? He gave me some game. I try to incorporate it in our stuff. I got Courtney Alexander. I think he a mastermind with the pen. I asked him. I pick his brain. I got Coach Guinea, Tommy. He knows so much. I pick his brain. Coach Antoine, master playing off of 2 feet. Guards got to play off of 2 feet. So I'm always trying to learn because if I don't learn, I get stagnant. And I'm surrounded in Georgia by so many talented coaches. You're not going to be able to just stay the status quo and be the same and be okay. So I'm trying to steal something every night. I'm a thief when it comes to this knowledge. I'm trying to.
For sure. Last thing I thought about the Najeh. Would you say, is it a fair assessment to say that offensive schemes are simplistic, like just a lot of maybe 1 or 2 actions and it's a 2-man game, kind of making people choose, or do you still think it's complex for some teams?
I think we can outthink ourselves as coaches. I think we can really outthink ourselves. I've done it before. I've outcoached myself in games, throwing in stuff. And then sometimes, y'all know, keep it simple. I try to keep it simple at the end. And if I outthink myself, I know the kid's going to do it. So a big thing for us is skill development. Give them the tools where they can do these things. Because I can call out any play, but you got to be able to react and do it. So a lot of our things are skill-driven things. So every year, I build our team up on what do we do well. I've been blessed the past couple of years with shooters. So we going to shoot. A lot of our sets come with shooting, but they got to shoot the ball. So they in there 6 a.m. The past 2 years, great idea from Coach Wallace, 15,000 makes. Well, now our boys almost making 20,000 at that time during the summer. They shooting on the gun every morning. They shooting at night. So it got to the point where I got to make sure our development is there and their brain is there, and then the plays just become easy because you never want to throw in too much and they can't physically do it. Then you're a robot. And I kind of want our guards to play. When I'm all said and gone coaching, I want people to be like, man, you play for Coach Chuck? Oh yeah, he let his guards go because I got 10 guards. That's what I want because you do too much work to sit there and let me be on that chalkboard all night.
Throw it back to you, Najeh.
Rise to Coach, before we let you go, because I know it is a school night. So, Coach, I want to ask you just a lot of young guys. How do you know when a kid is ready? And by that, Coach, I mean, let's say 4th quarter in the game, you might need to get 2 minutes here, right? Let's say one of your players is winded. You might have to depend on that freshman or that young player to come in for 2 minutes and let's just say play defense, right, or fulfill a role. How do you know that player is ready in that moment in order to kind of fulfill that role for you?
It really starts in the spring of the previous season.
Okay.
It starts in the spring of the previous season. It has been, we build a trust from, I'll say April till maybe October with fall league and all the games we play. I throw them in the fire. I don't want to see a private school. I got enough of them in my region. I don't want to see a small school. We got a tough of them. We'll see them in the state tournament. So I throw our kids in the roughest, toughest games possible. And that's when they grow. All my freshmen have grown because they've played in these hostile games. Man, Hillgrove and that environment made JT who he is. Let's put that in perspective. Hillgrove with Asa Montgomery and Jada and all that talent and those dogs they got over there. They made my boys better for what we did in that run. But that started the preparation from what we did the previous spring. We almost, people at school, I know my ADs and them laugh when I say this, basketball year round. So you're preparing them. You're putting them in that fire. So when they get in that game, it's never too big. Now, granted, everybody has a moment. As a coach, I have those moments where you're like, oh, 30 seconds, let's see. But if I try to prepare you all the way, so by November, you're okay to give me 2 to 3 minutes. Because we can't win with just that first 5 or 6. I need all 8 to 10 kids to do it. So, like, just to answer it, I throw them in the fire extremely early. Like, in June, we gonna play the roughest, toughest, most aggressive big schools. And that little 14-year-old that just got out of middle school, if I think you're ready, you're gonna go with us on all our trips. You're gonna work out with us. I got an 8th grader right now. I coached his brother, and their family trusts me enough to throw him into our workouts because I know next year he gonna be ready to play as a rising 9th grader. So I don't care how young you are. If I prepare you, you're gonna be ready. Like somebody was like, yeah, you got puppies, you got to turn them into dogs. And that's what I'm trying to do every night. We just work, 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 work. So when we get in that hostile Mount Vernon game and we up by 1 or down by 2, and I got to throw somebody in, the moment isn't bigger than I sat you on the bench and you didn't sat 10 games and then I throw you in. I don't care who you are. We just got to be good by the end of February. We get to the end of February, then we going to be straight. We just got to outlast them and they get to that point. So you just got to start early. It doesn't happen overnight. And yes, I pulled a little bit of hair I got in the gray in my beard. I just go nuts, but they got to do it. You got to let them do it. You got to let them grow.
Certainly, coach. And last question, I just want you to chronicle just the talent. You said a little bit about your backcourt and Shane Goins, you think being really one of the best players in the country. But just chronicle just the state itself, coach, just the talent that we have in the Peach State. I mean, Shane Goins, JT, I mean, Caleb was like we always having a lottery pick like either every year or every other year. Just can you talk about that a little bit?
Man, I know Bacon itching because I know he got a question because I know because I'm gonna say something that's gonna trigger him. Georgia might, and this is coming from Cleveland, Ohio, and I love home. I'm a 216 guy till I die. That's home. I done seen some of the best in the Midwest. Georgia got the best talent I've never seen.
Wow.
I've never seen something like this. And this is coming from a guy that have seen a lot of basketball. We have quote unquote no-name kids and no-name AAU programs that every week get on the radar and put on a show. And I'm like, who is that kid? Where does he play? Why is he here? Why is he not on this team? JT Scott, if I threw JT Scott on every showcase, he'd be a top 100 kid in the nation. But nobody know who he is. So we put him on the stage. He gonna compete. If Shane is on another thing, his name will get bigger and bigger. These are hidden gems. I think, just speaking for, I could go down the street. I think Lorenzo McCorvey, one of the best players from Walker, 6'6" Swiss Army knife. But it's a who's who because you only hear about the elite. Georgia has so much talent. Cobb County by itself, right now, I think, has 30 players that are elite. But the state of Georgia is loaded. South Georgia probably got kids we ain't never seen before.
Look at Rudy.
Yeah, like it's a lot of them. And then I ain't even talked about Gwinnett. It's city kids. When I talked to Cobb County, like I remember seeing KD when he was in high school at Southwest DeKalb. Unreal. Nobody was talking about him. He was just that good. So it's like Georgia has so much time. I'm blessed to coach in this state and in this county, but I think we're the best in the nation outside. I haven't been in the Cali basketball and the Texas, but I'm biased when it comes to Georgia. I don't think an AAU team got to leave Atlanta and still be a top 100 player in the nation. Ace Bailey. Let's put that in perspective.
That's right. Did it independent the whole way.
Did it independent. And AOT is a Nike program right now because of everything Sharif and them done. They went independent, and he was, what was he, number 3 in the draft? Number 5, what?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So put that into perspective. That's on the radar. That's Next Play 360 every other weekend. You ain't going to find that nowhere else.
Nah.
And I grew up in Cleveland, where I think we got some of the best basketball I've ever seen in the Midwest. But I've never seen no quote unquote. It's a kid, Huey Blaylock. I know y'all heard the name, right?
Mhm.
Imagine if he was seen by outside of the state. Everybody in the state know the boy can play. That's just random talent around this state that is very, very, very good. We have the best talent. We got some of the best skill programs. We got so many things, but it's so much of it. Like, you only hear about some of these kids, but it's probably a kid at Pebblebrook that we ain't heard of that Coach Washington gonna have, and he gonna be a dog, and he gonna go to a D2, then go D1, and we gonna see him and be like, man, he went to Pebblebrook. That's
Right.
just how Georgia is. I think the kid at South Atlanta is unreal. Door. Nobody talking about him going crazy, but he is nice. Like, I'm just naming random kids that aren't on the top 200 in the country that I'll put my money up next to them and say, okay. And I put my boys up with them. Shane and JT, Landon, Asher, Dylan. Okay, all right. Nobody knows, but it's all in this state and it's all in this area. And it's an honor to even see it. We don't play against we don't have a cupcake. We played a team last year. They were like, oh, he's not that good. He had 36. Like, okay, he's not that good. He had 30. Like, it's talent all over this state. And I think when colleges come to Georgia, it's like going to Golden Corral. You get what you want. You want a kid? I got it. Come to Next Play 360 with Chris Watkins. He got it. They got him. It's all over there. Georgia is loaded. And we haven't even talked about the shoe teams. Haven't even talked about the top 100 that everybody loves. I'm talking about the kids that's in our backyard that are talented. And I pray to God they get the opportunity. Because there's going to be a college coach that's going to recruit them, and he's going to be real happy. And I think we got a couple of them at our school, too. So that's just how Georgia is. I love it. I love the game of basketball down here.
Bacon, anything else for Coach? We let him go.
Yeah, man. Two things, Coach. You know, man. I gotta ask you. First, best player you've seen could be, you know, I don't want to say back in your day, but you know, back in the day, college or current. Just give me two. Give me two of the best players you've seen, no doubt about it. And I got one more after that.
Two. I grew up in Ohio, so I saw LeBron early.
Oh, okay.
Saw LeBron early. And I can let me give you a couple because it's some that Zach Randolph was like he was unreal. Didn't know who he was. Kevin Martin.
Dog.
Unreal. And the funniest situation was seeing a young Caruth from Georgia. I played against him at camp. He had gold fronts in his mouth when I was in the 10th grade. I never seen a kid. He shot the net. It looked like NBA Jam. He didn't miss. We were at a camp in Kentucky, and it was him, AJ Moye, and somebody else. But the Caruth didn't miss a shot. I went home. I said, yeah, I got to improve.
How many shots he take, Coach?
He probably shot about 10. He probably didn't miss one. And he wasn't shooting pull-ups. He was shooting deep threes. Like, he was out there. And that was shocking. Like, those names, I'm like I went home and was like, okay, now I got to work. Early 2000s had some hoopers, but not I mean, now everybody can hoop.
I feel like the game was a little more pure back there, but I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole.
No, don't throw that rabbit hole. They'll ban us from everywhere. Don't do that. I'm pro young boys right now. I need these young boys to go hoop. I need them all.
100%. So what can we do? Because it's like you say, it's a lot of talent, and sometimes it's like the only top say top 300 only get service, so what can media do a better job at this helping provide exposure to kids like yours?
I mean, first I want to give a shout out to y'all for even having me on this platform.
Absolutely.
I'm not one of the top big coaches in the state, in my opinion. I'm a newbie in this game. I'm just a hard hat guy. And the funny thing is Najee will be at our games and it's 40 other schools that's loaded when we were at Lake Point. He had a Mount Perrin versus Alatoona and he get the play of the weekend nobody
Right.
else saw. Like, you remember that play?
Facts.
Shane 2 feet outside of the paint, cocked it back and dunked it. Everybody went crazy.
Let me go
But
ahead.
guess what?
Let me go ahead. Yeah, hold on. Let
Yeah,
me
pull it.
go back because you mentioned it a couple times. I'm gonna let you go back.
No,
you
but
say some gems, so I want you to keep going. But now let me pull the play.
but like I really appreciate y'all coming to see us. Like nobody sees this play. I remember on the other court, it was all 6A schools.
Facts.
It was all 6A big private schools. And I got my 6'3", 6'4" rising sophomore making the play of the weekend. I never heard that many people scream and turn around. But y'all take the time out to talk to the coaches and the players. And I appreciate even getting the opportunity to do it because, like I said, there's so much talent in all these gyms. Now you didn't have to have us on this show last year. Like you caught the run before everybody even knew what was going on.
That's so true.
We literally won 6 games in 7 days or 9 days.
Just to make the tourney, Bacon, if you didn't know.
Yes.
Like he was hot.
So we got hot and nobody heard about us until we won the tournament. So during that time, Najee get a song, we on YouTube, we do this, and it hit Twitter. And I remember I'm in the moment, I'm like, man, nobody paying attention. My mentions just blow up one day. I'm in class, I'm sitting there. They were like, Coach, look at this. And I'm like, Coach, what? And it's like they see these things. And I say this, y'all are grassroots guys and y'all come to these games. Y'all don't just run to the blue check and the top 20 and the top 10 and this guy got this and that. Y'all really take the time to grind it out. And I appreciate it. It's a heaven sent. Like I told Najee, I texted him before. I said, keep running your own race. Same for you, Bacon. Keep running your own race.
Yes, you did.
Y'all gonna get everything God wants y'all to get. Just keep. You ain't got to do nothing special. Najee hit me with. I was like, "What I got to do?" He said, "Just be you."
Did.
I'm learning from somebody younger than me. Just be you. Just keep coming to these games. Keep making these kids highlights. They might not get on ESPN, but that play that Shane got, we played a couple of weeks later. I see Georgia Tech standing there with their nice polo. They don't have to come, but they see those things. But it doesn't start without y'all laying the foundation to come. A Chris Watkins watching our games, a Sean Williams looking at this, a Matt Hauser writing about us when we play Hillgrove. We were supposed to lose to Hillgrove by 40 probably. We probably weren't. Little old Mount Perrin. But when you get this notoriety and this grassroots guys, we appreciate y'all. Because those are the things that little coaches love. Like I love being in that single A environment and having y'all come be y'all part of our family because we wouldn't get that without guys like y'all. Y'all just got to keep running your race. Y'all got it. I'm tuned in. I hope y'all have me on and we talk about something else that's even funnier, like us making another run. I want y'all in our gym.
Definitely, we'll be there.
So like when we have our big Eagle Day workout, y'all come in, y'all look at the guys. That's what it is. Grassroots guys taking the time, not chasing the big name, just being who y'all are and authentic. I mean, that's huge because our kids need it. It's a saturated market. It's more stars than people think. Not every star go to a big school. Not every D1 player is on the main court at Lake Point. They on a small court where y'all walking around with y'all phone and y'all camera and y'all taking the time to look at them. That's how people get discovered. I'm not on this show without y'all saying it. It ain't nobody beat down my door. They don't know what we've done, but y'all took the time. Y'all made our story a reality. It's like a fairy tale. How many people can say they won that many games and went to the Final Four in history, won the region for the first time? We've never done that. And nobody would have saw it if it wasn't for y'all. So I appreciate it for sure.
Hey man, I don't know what to say, Coach, but appreciate you. We're definitely gonna be locked in, and we'll definitely be in the Mount Paran gym and for Eagle Day as well. But last thing, real quick, because I know you
All
know
right,
say
shoot.
you're not a game coach. Just
No,
I
it's
gotta
all
get
good. It's Thursday night
back.
and it's football, so I'm about to sneak and watch at least 30 minutes of football, and then I kiss my wife and daughter and then go to sleep.
I was just your thoughts on the women's basketball, just the rise and where it's at right now, because y'all got a great women's basketball program over there at Mount Paran.
Oh yeah, Coach Dunn is elite. She one of the best coaches. Humble, laid back, don't really say much, but I mean, these girls can go. They put in the same work, and once again, when people see them, they shocked. Like our girls' region is unreal. We got Galloway, we got St. Francis, we got Mount Paran, we got Wesleyan, we got an upcoming fellowship in Mount Bethel. Like they can all go. Like I've never seen that many Division I girls on a court like that. And they competing with the boys. Like it ain't no they got next. They there now. Like they putting in that work. I've seen skill workouts with Nick Stapleton, one of the best trainers in the state. He working the girls out like they going to the league. Like they're there. And our girls program was like that. Like Jessica Fields, she would shut the gym down. We leave late and she coming in. I'm like, Jess, where you going? Like it's late. But they put the work in. And I think our girls are like that as well.
100%. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to answer all the questions. I'm gonna throw about the nine to segue us out.
Hey, Coach, it's always a blessing to hear from you and just to have you on the platform, Coach. I know you're a busy man, but look, we appreciate it, man. Like you said, keep running your race, man. Anything we can do for you and your program, please let us know. And like I told you, Bacon, you're an upstanding brother, man. Like I said, I wouldn't be able to have the kind of the step I have in the basketball scene, because we've been trying to, Coach, for a long time, get tapped in with the hoop scene, and being able to follow your program has definitely been the start of that.
Well, hey, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I mean, anytime I can talk about my boys, I do whatever I can for them, and I do anything for y'all. Like y'all ever need me, reach out to me. I'm there. But it's an honor and a pleasure. And the best thing about it is like I love what y'all doing. Y'all gonna keep growing and keep growing. I'm gonna share this, let my boys see it, let our Mount Parent community see it. And then when y'all walk in the gym, y'all like family. Hopefully y'all got on a blue t-shirt. We'll make sure of that. So like y'all with us now. So I appreciate it. It's a blessing. First time meeting Bacon to see some interviews. Dope guy. Like Najeh, he always upstanding. Hiding in the scenes, though. I can't even believe he got that shot. Nobody else in the gym got the shot of Shane. I don't even have it until you got it. So it's like any guy like that, he always A1. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all a blessing, man. And if y'all need anything, I'm here.
For sure. I appreciate you. Enjoy your Thursday night, man. And tell the family we said what's up, man, and send the love to the family and everybody.
I appreciate it. Same to y'all. Y'all get some rest. And whenever y'all need me, I'm here. Hope to see y'all at some games.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach. All right, man. Coach Frierson, appreciate him tuning in, man. Like I said, man, upstanding brother, man. Had to get him on. Couldn't do what I do without him, man. He was the start of me getting Bacon into the hoop scene more, man. So, man, I wish his program nothing but the best. But I'm definitely gonna come to a couple games this year for sure. On the hoop scene, man. He got some dogs as always, man. But what's your biggest takeaway, Bacon, as we segue out? We take over the show.
Man, so many places to start. I would just say, man, just even though coaches, he won't say it, but I'll say it for him. Even though coaches are well established, you know what I'm saying, at an upstanding private school at Kennesaw, Georgia, you know what I mean? He's just tapping into different coaches always, you know what I'm saying, just being a sponge, learn how to just to better improve his basketball mind, and aside from the basketball mind, you know what I mean, continue to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually, as he said at the beginning, you know what I'm saying, coaching the guy, they help him grow, and I think that's what we're in the game of life for, you know what I'm saying? We're not just in it to grow financially or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to get a status. We're in it to grow, you know what I'm saying, touch people and reach people. And I mean, when you're doing that and affecting the community, that's commendable to me.
100%. There it is, brother. I pass the ball to you, man. This is your show. Like I said, basketball Thursdays is for Bacon. We allow him to do his thing. He come up with the topics. This is his show. I just took over because I know we was right at 8 and we waste coach's time. So I was like, let me go ahead and segue and bring us in today. But all you, brother.
All right, man. For sure, let's get to it, man. Try to crank through it not as fast as we can, but let me go through these comments. We got a Liam Atkins, yo, appreciate you tuning in if you're still tuned in, and Adrian, hey, how you doing? So we appreciate you tuning in. So now we're gonna start not off topic, but I didn't add this one in, but you sent this to me, and I wanted I was gonna do a take on this on TikTok, but it wasn't my video was. It wouldn't let me bring in the audio from the video. So, but nonetheless, Trey Young, and Patrick Beverly. I'm sure y'all seen it by now.
Crazy.
Kind of going back and forth. You know what I mean? I like to see this from Trey Young. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You don't really see this a lot either from Trey.
You don't? I didn't even know brother had a YouTube page and had a little podcast. He'd have had Shaq on and everything. I said, all right, but I start tuning into what he said something about the point from the Point TV. I like that, Trey. But if you haven't, for the people who don't know what it is, man, Pat Beverly, you know what I mean, he saw a tweet or something out from the Hoop Herald saying that the NBA players don't really take NBA All-Star Weekend serious, you know, for whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever your opinion is about that. And Trey Young chimed back on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, Twitter fingers is hot right now in the NBA. And he said, man, just leave us alone, kind of let us do our things, time to relax, kind of like what Bron said last year. We want to chill, have some fun. And he took the Twitter, took the YouTube, and pretty much said, "Yeah, man, I came in at 19, right? There's a lot of pressure on my shoulders. I'm the franchise guy. You've never been that way. You came into the league when you were 24 years old, you know." So he kind of went back and forth, and Pat talked about how some of his former teammates said he's not a good leader. It's just Trey Atlanta, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they went back and forth, man. So Najeh, whenever you saw this, man, just what was your thoughts? What was your initial reaction?
I just don't get why comfort Trey. I mean, you could say if you're going to comfort Trey, look at the players that have left him. How much success have they had? You know what I'm saying? No. I'm talking about players that have left and have played with them. You haven't really seen, and I'm talking they've played, but I'm not seeing okay, they won a championship or they did this or that. I think his game is very underrated. I think he's done the best that he can with the talent he's had around him. I think this is probably the best team he's had since he's been with the Hawks, maybe since that 2021 run. And let's see what happens with that. But I think for Bev, I mean, I just think he could attack somebody else, man. You can make, Trey don't play defense or Trey don't do this or that. But, I mean, Trey consistently puts up 20 and 10 seasons. And I know, you don't always go by the stats or whatever, but he's a franchise player for a reason, right? And he's not the tallest guy. He's not no Anthony Edwards, 6'5", 6'6". He's not no LeBron or what I'm saying, Bacon, is he's not an elite athlete. He's not a, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to say generational talent because he's a great player, but he's not when you're oh my gosh, he just plays the game the right way. And I just think it was a low move by Patrick Beverly, and even the 1 point trade was this man averaged 7 points and 2 assists. Why am I even giving this my time or energy? But I feel like Trey did that because he hears the chatter and he hears what people be saying. A lot of times he turns the other cheek. I think this one was yo, bro, how you going to just come for me? You know, I didn't been to the playoffs, right? I didn't took my team to the Eastern Conference Finals. No, we haven't made championship yet, but it's a lot of people in the East. They ain't made no championship yet. You know, it's only a few teams. Knicks haven't. Sixers haven't. And Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Only few teams you see is Boston. You see Miami, right? And you see Giannis in the Bucks. Now everybody's gonna go every year. So I don't know. Man. I thought it was a low blow, but I thought Trey, handled it the right way. And I think after a while, you just be like, man, let me answer this. I'm tired of this chatter. And I thought he handled it great. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna have their opinion, but I feel like it was a low blow by Bev. He could have came for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Comfort Trey. Trey's done the best he can with what he's had.
Yeah, man. I think it's in Pat's perspective. I mean, I'm not trying to get in Pat's head, but Trey Young has been in the headline, not for anything bad, but I always get snubbed for those All-Star appearances. And I think people look at it like that. Oh well, Trey is quiet. Even you look at the video, you know what I mean? Not really a big charismatic guy off the court, but I think that's why Pat Beverly decided to. To poke the hawk. But I think also this is a personification to the season, not only the Hawks, but Trey Young is about to have. I believe when you look at Trey's going to his 7th or 8th year. If you pull up Steph Curry's numbers, You know what I'm saying? When Curry was fighting that same battle of being a point guard and a scorer. Not saying that Trae Young was on Steph Curry's level, but I think this would be the year that Trae Young kind of has a happy medium and it all comes together. Because he's got a lot of talent around it. We're not going to break the Hawks down right now. I don't think we got we might, but we'll talk about that in the NBA section. But to get back to the grassroots hoops, which is what I know a lot of people love to see, let's look at Kyle Sandy's player rankings now. I know everybody likes this time of year when Kyle puts out a great list. You know what I'm saying? Every year, man, we love the work. You know what I'm saying Kyle does for the not just the community, but the whole basketball landscape in Georgia, highlighting a lot of players. But starting with the point guards, Pop or Gregory Pops Dunson. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so, man. One of the top scorers in 3SSB. Just committed to Colorado State. To see him at number 1 is no surprise there. I mean, I'm going to throw the bird to you. I know you're probably going to bring up Cortez, but just who was some surprised names that you saw on this list, or just what did you think about the whole top 20?
I think Bobby Bugs is too low for me at 10 for Georgetown. I like the way he played when we see him at GBCA Live. I think he's a top player. I think he should be rated a little bit higher, in my opinion. And that's a player I think that's rated too low. Zyrie Brown is a player we've seen that was cooking up against Pace Academy. Yeah. The point guard was doing his thing, was getting his buckets when we seen him back at that showcase last year. He's another player I like as well. Cortez, solid. I don't know if he's going to be playing this year, though. I think he's an early enrollee at Miami, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe he will be gone nonetheless. And then Malik Gillespie from Houston County, Middle Georgia, another guy that could play at a high level, man. He's going to help them in the hoop circuit. All-around guy, scorer, run the offense, facilitate. He's a really good player, man. So those were the 3 I had circled on my list. And then, Kevin White.
Yes, sir.
That's the last one. I like his defensive prowess. He doesn't shy away. I think he was going up against Justin Wise. And just, relishing the matchup, right? Want to go up against the best of the best and just giving him hell, right? Just consistently guarding him up 94 feet, and making it tough for him to bring the ball up. I think, he's an underrated guy, but I like his game. I think he's going to do big for Gainesville this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say CJ Harper for Padilla. I can't remember how coach said it, but Padilla always has a great basketball program. I like his game. Very offensive minded, also can facilitate. But I have to agree to your sentiment about Bobby Bugs, man. If you don't know about Bobby Bugs, I know a lot of people like, man, this time ain't gonna be nothing, man. They lost AJ, you know what I mean? They just gonna be a regular team. Don't be fooled. Do not be fooled, man. He's one of the ones real dominant. I don't say dominant. Dominant ball, but I'm saying very crafty scorer. Tell still a little raw, still a little young, but the brother can, I'm saying he can definitely put up points in bunches. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got the right defensive game for him. So moving on to 2, man. Surprisingly, did not know Jaren Samuel was going to be the number 1 shooting guard when we had him on the show. Otherwise, I'd asked him about being the best shooting guard in the state of Georgia. Obviously, per Sandy Spiel's rankings. But you look at Devin Hutchinson, checks the box there. Tobias Brinkley. Man, that's what I really thought it was going to be too. When I looked at this list, I said, man, but maybe it's something I'm missing in Devin. Devin's always been talented since he was a young one. And we all know his sister's playing at Princeton. I believe she hadn't transferred, so that's a basketball family. Jaren Salisbury at Wheeler now. That's going to be big. But no surprise to see that top 5, Chase Dupree, Southwest Macon. But again, outside that top 5, did anybody else catch your name? Anybody else name catch your eye?
I think the name to watch 19, a little underrated, but the Newton guard, Jared White, they're probably going to ask a lot of him this year, especially after losing the big man who's at OCE. Did his thing this past year, man. So they're going to depend on him a lot. I expect for him to have a big year. He's one. Anderson Carey's an underrated guy from Walker. We talked to Coach Frierson just about their program, and they're loaded all over the place. That's going to be a player to watch at the shooting guard position. Shot creator, 3-level scorer, can put the ball on the floor, do a little bit of everything. So he's another player that has a very high ceiling. He's definitely going to be the one to watch. And then I just want to see how Salisbury looks going back to the top 5 under Wheeler. Really great, coming from 2 really great coaches, right? Coach Mack, and then making the transfer over there to Wheeler. Wheeler, they lost some pieces this year too. They'll have Coleman Landrew, I think, who we'll talk about the small forwards. But They don't have Coda Settle no more. Coda Settle transferred to SoCal, so he's expected the guy to be in there and plug and play. How much different does he look, this year after transferring out from Norcross?
Absolutely. I even Kentavian Moreland from Troup County. He's definitely one to watch. Still kind of raw, but what I'm saying is very crafty in his approach to the game. Also, man, Jason Wellborn, I'm assuming I'm thinking top 2, top 3. But he did miss last year with, I believe, a knee injury. So I say lower extremity just to cover my bases. But Jason Wellborn, elite. Talking about someone who's 6'7", at Decatur, man, who could do it all. Star. But nonetheless, that top 5 is elite. It's going to be interesting to see Jaron Salisbury at Wheeler with Coach Thompson. And it's going to be interesting to see how far Holy Innocents can go, without Caleb White being in the picture.
Lost Kingston Whitty, too.
Where's Kingston at?
Kingston went to, I think it's Christ School in North Carolina.
Wow. Went to the Hoop State.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Put you on some games. I've been following the little portal a little bit.
Nah, I see, brother. I see you been keep your ears to the streets, man. We appreciate the update, man. Inside of the knowledge on the report. Moving to small forwards, man. When we think of wings and wings in the state of Georgia, it's synonymous with just producing elite talent year after year after year after year after year. Look at Ace, who we just talked about. What I'm saying with Coach. Number 1, Coble Landrew, probably the hottest name one of the hottest names, if not the hottest name in college basketball, high school to college basketball recruiting, man, getting offered by every big time coach you could think of. Just had a visit from Dan Hurley and a couple other, Nate Oates. I think has visited at Wheeler too. But no surprise to see him at 1. Manny Green is someone I know Najeh has been high on. So, I just want to get your thoughts for the people, man. Just your thoughts about his game and how his game has developed to this point.
He's elite. I didn't get a chance to see him this summer, but I definitely plan to get to a game. We see the girl play this year, try to see him up close and personal and see his development. But another guy that I like that's gotten out the mud, like I said, I think they would have won the state championship last year if they got him the ball in that last possession or found a way to touch his hands. But he's an elite player, man. I'm very high on him. I know Tech has been in that conversation alongside with him as well, in recruiting. So, he's a guy I think underrated. He goes to the right program and he could turn into a stud. He's a stud now. When I say stud, I'm talking about like NBA caliber talent. That's what I say when I mention stud. But the kid, he's elite. Plays both ends of the floor. Doesn't get frustrated when he doesn't get touches. Team player. Can score all 3 levels. I think the kid is a complete package.
And just his dog, and just the overall dog, man. I'm gonna try to watch him more closely this year. Of course, we got to watch him last year at the Battle for the Peach, if I'm not mistaken. Double Trouble Invitational. But I think obviously he's got a good game. But I don't know why I just thought about Jimmy, like a Jimmy Butler type of guy. He's got that dog, but he's very crafty. I think he's still just scratching the surface of what he can become.
And then I want to mention real quick, Bacon, Avon Florence from Sandy Creek, so underrated at 12. I just don't think that does him justice. No disrespect. I think the kid is talented. He plays football as well. I think even in that game we seen against East Coweta, I was like, Bacon, they should involve him more, man. That's just how great of a talent he is, both sides of the ball. So I don't know, man. I think Avon Florence is that dude. I think he's underrated. I know this year he'll play a lot. I don't think Amari Latimer, who we didn't see here, I don't think he'll play this year for Sandy Creek basketball. I think he's going to be early and early as well, in terms of football. But that's another player that can play at a high level. And he's a better basketball player than even football player. 12 is too low to me.
100%. I'm deferring to you again, brother. Will DeFore Lambert, we talked to his teammate last year. I cannot remember his name. His name escapes me, but just your thoughts on Will DeFore as a scorer.
Yeah, man. He's a dog, too. He's another player. You know what I'm saying? You get him the ball, can put the ball in the basket, can take them unconventional shots, like just difficult shots, over contested hands. He's another guy that can play defense at a high level. Really just all around great player, man. It's the reason he's number 3. I think he's one of the best small forwards outside of those 2 at the top.
Absolutely. Of course, we know Frank, we know Scooter, Jonesboro. He'll play again this year. Let's see, it's one more. And you see a Dutchtown guy on here again, Max McClendon. They'll be just fine. Marquise Leslie out of Alexander. Dale Dickinson the third from Mount Vernon. So it's like I said, it's a lot of talent in the state of Georgia. Let me back. I'm trying to scroll on StreamYard. Power forwards. You know what I'm saying? No surprise here. You know what I'm saying? We see Wing, Jalen Wingfield, number one, Tri-Cities. And I mean, one of the best players in the state. Of course. Let's see what's Charlie. Tech commit fresh. It's only been a week now? Maybe a week and a half? Fresh out the commit, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely stoked. You know what I'm saying, when he committed, brother. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know he was going there, but you know what I'm saying, found the T League, you know what I'm saying, had to be a top contender. And of course his teammate Jaden London. Been seeing some clips of him, looks very talented. And I mean, kind of reminds me of Sean, who committed to Georgia Southern. You know what I mean? I think Sean Van Dorn. They got some similarities to me. That's another big one. See, of course, you got Hayden Clay, who we saw at the Georgia Basketball Coaches Association in Lake Point. Dog, brother. Dog. Just looking at this list, 7's not a bad spot for him. 7's not a bad spot for him, but you know what I mean, he's tough, bro. You talking about he can really do it all: pass, shoot the ball, the dribble, spot up, play defense, hustles. You know what I'm saying? Has a really good basketball IQ. It'll be interesting to see how he does. He probably be the man this year. Bentley's not there anymore. I think he still got the point guard. I can't remember his name right now, but I'm surprised we didn't see him on the point guard list. But I think Kyle likes to lean toward the older guys. But you know what I mean? Pace Academy is going to be loaded. One more, I'd defer to you, Najeh, to see who caught your eye on this list. But Charlie Gershman, you know what I'm saying? Gainesville is going to be a good program, I believe, to contend for Final Four spot in 5A, excuse me. So, you know what I'm saying, very good list here, as Kyle does per usual. So, brother, to you, deferring to you, you know what I'm saying, who else caught your attention on this list?
I think I go number 2 with Banks Porcher. He's a big part of this run. They're 2-time state champions, and he's been an integral piece of that. You can go Justin Wise, you can go Kamari Brooks, but he's been a big piece of that, Banks Porcher. So I want to give him some love. He's one that stood out. Khalid Worthy, he's going to be asked to be counted on a lot. He's taking some big steps forward in his game from Holy Innocents. I think that's a guy that's elite. Play both ends of the floor. And they're going to ask him to do a lot, along with him and Devin Hutcherson this year, and ask him to play even a bigger role than what he's played in years past. So that's another one that stands out to me. And then I'll go Locust Grove, Tyler Jones. You know, really slept on power forward. Do a bunch of different things, man. Good finisher around the rim, good defender. He's another guy to keep your eye on this season as well.
100%. I believe Worthy just picked up a Georgia Tech offer, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go.
So, man, you know what I'm saying? Tech definitely knows what's going on in the city of Atlanta, man, as they should with their backyard. But moving on to the big guys, man. Again, man, you know what I'm saying? You've been doing a great job of covering Cedar Grove, so I'm gonna let you start the race with this one, brother.
Yeah, Javante Floyd's a dog too, man. You can make the argument he's underrated, just in terms of just his ranking. I know he's a 3-star prospect, but the kid, I mean, he can do a little bit of everything. The kid can shoot basketball, rebound at a high level, man. Good back to the basket player as well. Finish, dunk on you, posterize you. Perimeter defend. I seen him at Battle of the Peach or Double Trouble, I guess you could say. He's doing a great job staying in front of guards. Did a little bit of everything, man. I like Javante Floyd in this game. I just think he just needs more touches, if anything. But that kid's a stud, high-end player, high energy type of a guy. So that's definitely one to watch. And I'll go Emmanuel Olafe from McEachern, another guy that's really good for the Indians. We one day depend on a lot this year, especially with obviously, you know, some of their players moving on in JT. So he's going to play a big role, I think, this year for the Indians. Definitely going to be one to watch moving forward. And then I go last but not least, I will go – which one I had circled? That Landon Thomas from Noonan. Another player, really good. Noonan is a slept-on basketball team, but they got some pieces, man. Thomas is one of them. And as a center, man, you know, what he's able to do on the court, you know, is really spectacular.
100%, man. I remember I had Coach Mike Duck. Coach to Landon. Shout out to Coach Gas, man. Yeah, definitely. Noonan's gonna be they're gonna be a team to see in 5A, man. I'm really intrigued to see where that team lands. I think the best season they've had in Coach Gass's that Elite 8 year when they went into Parkview, upset Parkview, went into Walton, upset Walton. And, of course, you know what I'm saying, when you run into Bruce Thornton and the Milton Eagles and that talented squad, man, you know, things happen. But I'm definitely excited to see what Coach Gatz had in store for not only his team but the community, you know what I'm saying, the rest of the state this year. I know they'll be fine. For Felton, Centennial, you know what I mean? I was looking at him last year, man, like, man, you know what I'm saying, I just need him to be a little more physical, talking with Coach D. But I think, you know what I'm saying, a year older, you know what I'm saying, I'm interested to see how he develops. I know not sure how to say his name, so we'll call him AG from Green Forest. Green Forest always keeps interior talent, you know what I mean? Bar none, they probably produce some of the best front court players in the state. Camso from Hillgrove, you know what I'm saying, we talked about that program earlier. And said they got a lot going on. They're gonna be another team to see in 6A for sure. I went on record. I think they may be the most talented team in Marietta for sure. Let's see who else we got. Not sure about Kip Atlanta, but they always produce a lot of talent. I like to see Drew Charter here. You know what I mean? A team representing Fulton, Nod side of town. Jake and Goalie from Pace Academy. They continue to build. Kevin Curtis out of Gainesville. And Tobias Tolbert, Carver Columbus. Carver Columbus is going to be real good this year. They got something special brewing down there. I believe we talked about the point guard who's number 2. Or maybe who was shooting guard. Man, where was he at? Might have been point guard. Oh, here we go. Jadavian Ford, I believe he's playing football for them, for the Tigers this year. So they're gonna have a nice squad in Carver, Columbus. So man, definitely want to put it up. You know what I'm saying? This time of year, everybody loves to see where, you know what I'm saying, see the rankings. You know what I'm saying? What better way to do it than to bring up Sandy Spills. So man, to switch over out west, the number 1 player in the class of 2026, Tyron Stokes is putting on the pads. Najeh, so he's a football savant. So I'm gonna lead this to you, brother. You know, I want you to break down this film because I know you did the tell the tapes, and let me know what you think about the brother's route running ability, and then we can talk about why we decided to put the pads on. Solid hands there, man. Solid hands. I know that's only one clip, brother, but just what you think about the get off there? Okay, solid hands there again.
I mean, you can tell it's something you definitely have to work on. You know what I'm saying? Not something that's going to sell out of elite defensive backs, linebackers. But I mean, it's all about the athlete he is. I mean, he's a multifaceted athlete. Just to be able to go out there and actually give this a try, I commend Tyron Stokes on that, man. You know, he could just focus on hoops and hoops only, man. But there's nothing wrong with being, and even players say, hey, I was a 3-sport athlete in high school when it gets to the pro level. So I think it's cool that he's even trying to do this. I know someone say, oh, well, why would he do that? You know, hoop season coming up and trying to get injured. But I think it's cool he even, tried to do that, or even is trying to play football and just, you know, continue to, you know what I'm saying, refine his game, I think, you know, and, you know, 6'8", like, hey, do you see a lot of guys that are 6'7", 6'8" now, 6'9", 6'10", even sometimes in football. And, you know, he could probably, I wouldn't say make more paper in NBA, but he's more unique with his size at 6'8", 6'9", compared to maybe like the NBA, where it's a lot of dudes around that size. So I think it just speaks to the athlete he is, man, and to give it a try. He's probably just like, hey, man, let me do some sports. I'm bored, waiting for basketball season. Let me do something right here.
100%. It's gonna be interesting to see. I don't think he's gonna get a lot of PT. They're probably gonna put him out there, you know what I mean? Maybe a couple meaningful downs, maybe a couple garbage time. But you know what I mean, you just number 1 player class 2026, you hate to see the brother get clipped. You know?
Right. True.
Because, you know, I know there's that trendy league out there in California. They play football and they play basketball. So, you know, man, you never know what's in a football player's mind when they know they got, you know what I'm saying, someone got something to lose. Not just, you know what I'm saying, wishing the, not just saying that football players are malicious, which they are, but, you know what I mean, you just want to be precautious. You want to take care of all the precautions, you know what I'm saying, when you stepping into a realm you're not used to, and especially in a real physical game like football. But nonetheless, I think it's interesting. I'll definitely be here to see how it unfolds. But we wish him well. You know what I mean? Wish injury-free time on the gridiron because we know what he can do on the hardwood. All right, and just want to provide this little insight. I got an opportunity to catch up with Marcus Curry. He had an unofficial visit to Florida State. I'm trying to find the graphic. Unofficial visit to Florida State. You know what I'm saying? Met the new head coach down there, former NBA player, played overseas. First year head coach has already been doing a good job of recruiting other players. And he was like, yeah, man, I like Coach. You know what I mean? Coach. Hold on. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I want to pull this up so y'all can see too. I don't want to just be reading it off. All right, boom. So, like I said, man, Coach Luke Locks. If I'm saying Luke, Coach Luke, let's say Coach Luke to say face. You know what I'm saying? He said that he was cool. You know what I mean? He's a young coach, so he's very relatable. They play fast. They give guys freedom to make plays. So I think my game will translate there. You know what I mean? A sophomore. Going into his junior year. Well, he's in his junior year now. So not a surprise to see, you know what I'm saying, brother Marcus Curry, you know what I'm saying, getting that first unofficial, man. He's going to be some special transfer integration this year from Grovetown out in Augusta. He's already been lighting up the grassroots basketball world, playing with the Georgia Stars. Just want to update everybody about that. You know what I mean? That was a pretty interesting news, brother. You know what I'm saying? Najeh, if you have anything to add, I understand if you don't, but we get ready to segue into college basketball.
Nah, I just say keep doing your thing, man. I thought that was pretty cool to see you do something like that. And I see you listening, just parlaying your relationships. You already got a good one with Curry. So, just getting a little bit of intel from him and continue to parlay relationship. I think you did a really great job with the interview and obviously getting some good quotes on that in the UV.
Triple salute, brother. Also, before we transition into college basketball, if you didn't, I kind of watched the Overtime Elite Combine last night. So I got to check in on Marcus Gillespie. Did his thing, man. Did his thing. This is gonna be a big year for him in the Cold Hearts. I had to check in on Romello too. Used to play in Noonan with the Heritage Hawks. Solid, brother. Solid. Adding on some muscle. We already know he can bounce. Shot the ball pretty consistently. You know what I'm saying? I already know he's a defensive pest. So I just want to update the league on those two guys. Man, everybody knows about the Stars, and they got some killers. They had I think he's a sophomore from Grayson as transferred at OT, so it should be another fun year at Overtime Elite as well. But first topic in college, Coach Calipari asserts his way for Tate Kenny. You know what I mean? He visited him at OTE. We're starting to see him. Coach Cal kind of, work that muscle. You know what I'm saying? I'm Coach Cal, I'm here. So, we'll see him trying to beat up or continue to build a bigger presence for Taylor Kenny, and also offered Beckham Black. I believe is it? Can't remember his brother's first name, but his older brother plays for the Orlando Magic and also played at Arkansas. So this is interesting to see. You know what I'm saying? Can Coach Calipari, even though it's under a different regime, can he get his younger brother Beckham Black to play?
He already did it with Carter Knox and his brother Kevin. So that was Kentucky relationship, and he got him to come even to Arkansas. Remember, he was committed to Kentucky. Remember, Calipari left, went to Arkansas, and he still got Carter to come and commit with him. So for sure, I think that's just goodwill at that point, Bacon. If you did the bigger brother right and the bigger brother successful, I think the younger brother will follow too, because then the bigger brother will be able to vouch for you and tell you like, yeah, man, this guy's a real deal. Here's what he did for me, and then you got a resume, an example, something you can follow that makes sense. So 100%, I think you can.
Yeah, I think so too. But he didn't coach his man. I wish I remember his big older brother's name, but it'll be interesting to see. I think Coach Cal's definitely got a leg up over any other coach with his brother playing in the same arena. So it'll be interesting. But big shout out to Coach Cal, man. Underrating his team again. I think he's got a solid squad. Malik Thomas, as you just brought up, Carter Knox. Darius Acuff. I think Arkansas is going to be one of those teams to beat in the SEC. And if you're a team to beat in the SEC, we know what you could do in the tournament come March. So shout out to Coach Cal, man. Anyway, moving on, man. Najeh, I want to get your reaction on this as well. Duke bringing in the OGs, man. Jason Tatum, Cooper Flagg, Paulo Banchero in attendance, scrimmaging the game, scrimmaging the current players now with Jason Tatum in attendance. So we're gonna react to this live and give our thoughts. As we see not Cooper Flagg, but Big Boozer, Big Caden Boozer, Big Cam Boozer getting a bucket. Looks like Cam Reddish in the previous clip. So, brother, you know what I'm saying? Just what's your thoughts on, you know what I'm saying, their resources, you know what I'm saying, that Duke has to have NBA caliber players come back, you know what I'm saying, they obviously tap into their knowledge and, you know what I'm saying, better prepare themselves for the upcoming season at hand.
I mean, Duke is what Duke is for a reason. You know what I'm saying? This is a prime example. The players not forgetting, where they kind of started, in terms of, obviously there was great high school players, but, being able to come back, that shows the players like, hey, this is where you want to go. This is where you want to be at. Like, this is what it takes. And then just be able to have, I don't want to say a mentor, but having guys you can kind of peel off of, knowledge and game and learn from, and you can apply it to your game. I think that's massive, man. I think that's huge. And I think that only helps, to say the least, man. So I think having these examples, only gives Coach Shire, who was obviously on the staff and coached some of these players as an assistant, he can peel the layers back and show. And it's nothing like hearing it from a peer. Sometimes coaches it could be a dead message sometimes, or they'll overlook the message. But when it's coming from a peer, and it's a guy like Cooper Flagg that was literally just there last year and was playing at a high level, like, you respect him. Or Paulo Banchero, who was an all-star here recently and was recently playing at Duke. I think he's been in the league now 3 or 4 years. Like, these great examples to go off of.
100%, I agree with your brother. That's, you know what I'm saying, that's why, you know what I'm saying, as much as people hate Duke, bro, you know what I mean, it's a top level school for academics, and you know what they do on the hardwood, man. So definitely shout out to Coach Shire and the alumni for coming back to pour into the next one's up, because they gotta take the program and take it to the next level, which I feel like they're gonna do. To me, another underrated team in the ACC and in college basketball, but I digress. Another banger, man. Bill Self calls freshman Darren Peterson the best freshman that he has ever coached, and that's saying a lot. So for somebody who coached, Andrew Wiggins, you know what I mean. So Joel Embiid, that's saying a lot. So, brother, you know what I mean. I'm gonna defer to you here, brother. When you saw that headline, just what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, to say the least. Bill Self is one of the best coaches in college basketball. He's one of the few coaches that has a lifetime contract. Him and obviously Rick Barnes here recently from Tennessee. So for him to say that, I think that says a lot about his talent, and what he can be. We know he's coached last few years. It hasn't been the same for them. But if he's saying that, definitely he's earned his respect early and often. And he's putting in that work in practice. So, I mean, that's a strong statement. He's gotten guys to the league. Kelly Oubre is another one he's gotten to the league. He wasn't number one overall pick, but he was a top, I think, 15 pick. So he's gotten guys to the league. He's seen some of the best plays. So to say that says a lot. Now we just got to see it pan out. But I think that's huge praise for Darren Peters, who finished, I think, number one in the 247 Sports poll for that 2025 class.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Darren Peterson, man, is silent killer. You know what I mean? Kind of, I feel the same vibe that I get from Kawhi for Darren, or Darren. You know what I mean? Just, I think as he gets older, we'll see. Well, this year, I think he potentially could be the Naismith Player of the Year. That's a lot of candidates. AJ DeBonza. We'll talk about Mohamed Sila in his second year for Georgia Tech. But it's a lot of good freshmen this year. Cam Boozer. You know what I mean? But I think Darren Peterson will definitely be one. We'll look back on, like I say, yeah, Coach. Well, not even Coach Bill Self. We'll look back on what 247 did, ranking him as the number one player for the class, and be like, yeah, I can see why. But we're gonna talk about Mark Pope here, Coach Pope, man. I think the hardest working college basketball recruiter in the nation. You know what I mean? He's been to see times. Let me get my list together, ladies and gentlemen. He's been to see Tyron Stokes, Darren Rippey Jr., Taylor Kinney, Caleb Holt, Christian Collins, Ty Teresa, Jordan Smith, Baba Oladutum, Anthony Thomas, Cameron Williams, Anfrey Diane, Cole Clore, Ethan Taylor, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on. And even Nasir Anderson, So just what's your thoughts about Coach Pope? You know what I'm saying? Getting around to everybody instead of just being more strategic. Do you think it's effective? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he's splitting up his staff in a great way. Here's the list for those at home that want to see what we're talking about. But
I think he's popping back in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What are we talking about? Like, what the hell? Hold on, brother. My stuff is moving slow.
All good, brother. All good. I'm like, Coach, look, I thought Coach was a little older with them glasses. I said, Coach might be pushing 50.
Nah, young, man.
Yeah, Coach young.
What the hell, bro? Okay, you want to share the screen, bro? Thank you. All right. Yeah, so this is the list that obviously Bacon was referring to and talking about. But yeah, I think he's splitting it up. I think he's being strategic with it. He's giving a name with a face. People know who he is, but showing that face, showing who he is, and I think he's having recruiting staff and members all over the floor. But yeah, I mean, if you want to rebuild it, almost rebuild, but if you want to get a program to where it was and take it to even new heights, this is how you do it. You got to get in right with the top prospects, and I think Coach is approaching it the right way, taking it the right way. And quiet as a crap, he's big and ride. Deron Rippey didn't go to Arkansas in terms of that visit. You know what I'm saying? He's been heavy on him. So for him to do that, I think he's sending out on these recruits, and definitely one of the hardest ones right now, in the country. And like it says there with the quote, the staff has been everywhere, and that's what you want.
Nah, fact. I think that's what 13, maybe 10, 12 5-stars in this list. Not to say that we're hunting 5-stars, but it just lets you know the type of caliber of players that say you got to recruit. Honestly, I mean, come behind Coach Calipari, you got to be able to recruit elite players. That's what Coach Cal's hung his hat on. The one and done rule is because of Kentucky and Coach Cal. But I agree with you, brother, to your sentiment. You know what I mean? You got to. You're not rebuilding a program, but you're literally coming in and taking the keys from let's say, a Lamborghini, and you don't want to have to scale back to no Lincoln Navigator. So you know what I'm saying, you want to take that Ferrari, that Lamborghini, and maybe cash it into a Ferrari or Bugatti. You know what I mean? So I like what Coach Pope is doing. I think it's got a good system. Did a great job last year with transfers in, and I think he's trying to turn it up. He's trying to turn this thing up. More power to him. So that's the news on Coach Pope in Kentucky. Again, brother, I'm throwing it back to you, man. Coach Damon Stoudemire, Bo College basketball, saying that Muhammad Sila will be one of the best freshmen in the country as a freshman now. One of the best freshmen as a freshman. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I think he said in his press conference this week, man, I thought that was some bigger praise. Saying that early in the offing and saying, like, we got to join while he's here. Basically saying he's going to be a top pick, he thinks in the NBA draft. I think, I'm assuming next year. So obviously he's seen his talent. He loves it. I think he's going to be able to help out Baydongo, who he also talked about in his press conference, about helping him not have to play the 5, him and Peyton Marshall, Silla and him like rotating that role, being to help him out there. But with that comment, I'm assuming he's going to start. You know what I'm saying, for Coach Stoudemire as soon as it starts. But yeah, I think it says a lot. This was a number 17 overall national recruit, number 2 center, number 2 player out of Arizona, 6'10", 7'2" wingspan. So for him to already say that about him, I think says a lot. He's seeing him every day, and I think if Coach Stoudemire can consistently, I mean, we talked about his recruiting, so to his class and what he's doing. If he can get that consistently, one of those, like, I don't say generational guys, but one of those guys that are potentially into the NBA draft or a player that's in that top 20 consistently like that, like, Tech might be a problem soon. Now, I know it has to, go on the court. They got a very favorable schedule this year. It should. But if he got a top freshman in the country, look the hell out. That was my biggest takeaway. Look the hell out. Like, that's going to be a tough team to beat with the experience of a Baydongo, who might be his last year if he has a season that he's supposed to have. Winning a Kai Fleming, with the return of Jaden Mustafa, who's probably one of your best perimeter defenders, with a Cam Craft in there, one of the best shooters he called. With a Peyton Marshall, probably good rotational player, but is expected to play a lot of minutes this year. You got a pretty good team, and if Scylla's that, yeah, they might be a problem. AC top 4, top 3 team.
Absolute top 3 team and a Sweet 16 bound team in Georgia Tech, that is. So, I mean, Georgia Tech's going to be good. Most Scylla, I mean, it's going to be electric. If you aren't planning on being in the McCammons Pavilion, who Georgia Tech has a lot of home games this year. You know what I'm saying? So tap in early, get them while they're cheap, because when they give them that 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 7, whatever the case may be, and man, yesterday's price is not today's price. And that $25 ticket is now $75. You got a family of 3, that's $400. Like Steve, they like to say in that New York accent, but the story, get in the building early before the getting is too good to get. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So women's basketball, WBB. Najeh, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get into defer to you, but I know you covered Tennessee as well. I know you know about Miss Olivia Edwards, the number 2 player, class of 2026, committed to Tennessee. What were your thoughts on that, my friend?
Yeah, huge get, man. I mean, you look at a coach that's fairly new, her second year, already recruiting at a high level. I think it just shows the brand of Tennessee and Lady Hoops. Obviously, coach did a great job, with the relationship and things like that. But I think at the same time, it shows that Tennessee, the brand it is, to get these type of players. It's how you get back to that start. It's how you get back to competing with South Carolina at a high level in the SEC, one of the best conferences in women's basketball. So that was massive, man. This girl averaged 17 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 64% shooting this past year, man. So the girl is electric. And if she wasn't good, she wouldn't be the face of Adidas basketball, which she is right now as a high school player. So she's the best of the best, the creme de la creme. And you, like I said, you was able to beat out your rival. Your rival is South Carolina. That was in her offer list or her top list. USC was in there too. What a Florida, what a Washington. That says a lot, man. That was an elite get for their program, and great job that their head coach is doing.
100%, man. Coach Kim Caldwell, you know what I mean? She this, like you said, in her second year. And we know what type of season Tennessee had last year. One of the biggest surprises, I think, in women's basketball last year. She's an innovator in her own right. You know what I mean? Likes to have everybody in shape. They do a lot of running. You know what I'm saying? They hang their hat on defense. I think this is perfect for Olivia Edwards. I mean, it's already in good shape, man. You know what I mean? Was 6'7". You know what I'm saying? Body fat probably 1 to 2%. You know what I mean? She's electric. You know what I'm saying? She could dunk the basketball. But I think if not year 1 or year 2, maybe year 3, 2 to 3, and when we'll see Tennessee, I believe, you know what I'm saying, be a 2 seed at the worst. You know what I'm saying? Add the juggler of South Carolina and any other team, UConn, you name it. Tennessee, obviously, you recruit 5 stars, you're going to be elite. But I think it goes the game ball goes to Kim Caldwell. She's an innovative coach, man. She, you know what I'm saying, and believes heavily in a 3-point shot. You know what I mean? So she got a great philosophy. But her here first, man, or second. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people are probably behind the Volunteers right now. But, you know what I'm saying, definitely shout out to Coach Kim Caldwell. Definitely congratulations to Olivia Edwards for doing her thing. Had the opportunity to see her at OTE, not last year, the year before last. She won the Queen of the Court, you know what I'm saying, beating out Jersey Robinson, you know what I mean, and others, you know what I'm saying, Kate Harping. So she's elite for sure. But moving on in WBB news, apologies for going fast, ladies and gentlemen, but, you know what I mean, we know people trying to watch NFL football. So, you know what I'm saying, we're going to not speed through this, but give you game efficiently, if that's the best word for it. But Mimi Fierro, in a second topic in the WBB section, she committed to Maryland. You know what I mean? Not too surprised to see this. She's from the DMV area. So deciding to stay home. We know what Najeh and I know what type of program Maryland is, you know what I mean? Now seeing Georgia Tech's new head coach who came from Maryland, so we've done our extensive research on what Maryland is, and how could you not, you know what I'm saying, know what Maryland is as a program. So again, brother, you know what I'm saying, just you know what I'm saying, you covered her, you know what I'm saying, during her top schools. Just what's your thoughts on her game and her decision to commit to the Terrapins?
Yeah, another league get the Terrapins are getting. I know Coach Blair was in this conversation for a little bit for Georgia Tech in terms of recruiting her. I think she might have came for a visit. But yeah, it's going to be tough to, sway her away from DMV area, to say the least. Maryland's another school in the Big Ten that has really good education, along with the Tech and several others. But just a beast, man. She could do a little bit of it all, man. Her brother, I believe, is in the league as well, so she comes from that background and that family. 23 points she averaged this past year, 16 boards, 3.9 steals, and 3.8 blocks. So that tells me that she's an all-around elite player. She plays both ends of the floor. She could score at a high level on the block, in the post, mid-range, three-point shot. She could do a little bit of everything, man. So this is another elite get for the Maryland Terrapins. She's going to bring a lot to their program. 6'4", and an absolute problem. I think she's going to be probably one of the best ones you see. I think next year you'll go like a Kate Harpering. Obviously, I think you go Mimi Thiero and you go Olivia Edwards. Those three should be the stars of women's college basketball next year, in my humble opinion.
100%, man. Kind of got a Rakia Jackson type of game. Very crafty. It's an all-around scorer, all-around player. So definitely congrats to the Maryland program, Mimi Thiero, for stamping the flag and staying home. But man, we're doing WNBA updates, man. I just saw the Dream, man. It just had the collapse of the year, bro. How do you lose? How do you lose to the Indiana Fever without a Caitlin Clark, man? Shout out to Aerial Powers, you know what I mean? That's my girl, you know what I mean? But you just can't lose, man, without.
What brings you to Myrtle Beach? Oh, we're celebrating.
You can't lose to a team without their star. I know they got Kelsey Mitchell. I know they got Leah Boston. This is unacceptable, bro.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm in agreement with you. You had the better team. You won a number 2 overall seed. This is one of your best years in quite some time. You have the star talent, like you mentioned, with Alicia Gray, players that stepped up in a big way for you, and Ryan Howard. It's unacceptable. Home game, at, I believe, the College Park Skyhouse Arena. You got to win that, man. There's no excuse there. Obviously, Indiana Fever does have talent and great players, but yeah, there's no excuse to lose that one in heartbreaking fashion, unfortunately. And now you got to pick up the pieces next year and kind of restart. I don't know if they probably won't re-sign Brittany Griner. I know she had an up and down year. So yeah, this is supposed to be the year like the Dream take the next step, make an Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? Be on the brim of making a WNBA Finals. So yeah, tough loss at home for sure.
Yeah, man. 2 for 8. Ryan Howard ain't gonna cut it. 2 for 8 from 3. I mean, 7 for 18 ain't the worst, but 2 for 8 from 3 in an elimination game, they ain't gonna cut it. No one player, no one overall draft pick. These are the games we're gonna need Miss Howard to rise to the occasion. And I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm coming down too hard, but you know what I mean. You the franchise. You know what I mean? You got to come up. You got to come up in those moments. At least great 1 for 3 for 3. That's a problem for me. That makes me think like what was going on, schematic-wise, coaching with a cutting her off at a 3. But even then, we got to like what Coach was saying earlier. We got to run some pin down. We got to run some curl screen. We got to run some action to free up from that traffic to get the ball in her hands and take more than 3 shots from outside range. That is her specialty, man. So unfortunately, we see Brittany Griner. She only played 8 minutes. If they decide to part ways, definitely understand. You know what I'm saying? She's a beacon. You know what I mean, for the women's basketball game. So it'd be unfortunate to see her go. Wasn't able to get into the not infinite energy. What am I thinking? To get into the College Park Arena to see her play. Unfortunately for myself, Najeh Tillman 40 minutes. You know what I mean, six player of the year, 3 for 8 from the field, 10 rebounds. You know what I mean, that's big for her. 1 assist. 5 personal foul, that stuff, but still play 40 minutes. You know what I mean? That's showing her resiliency. But let's flip to the Fever. Right, Natasha Howard, 6 for 12, getting the job done. Aaliyah Boston needs a lot of credit, you know what I'm saying, for getting this team, as well as Kelsey Mitchell, but Aaliyah Boston, you know what I'm saying, being the captain of that team, one of the captains of that team that she is. When you saw what she did at South Carolina, 6 for 11. 2 for 6 from the free throw line, ain't gonna cut it. Probably get bounced in the next round. But 12 rebounds, 2 offensive, you know what I mean, 6 assists as a front court player. That's nice. Kelsey Mitchell, 24 points, 7 for 7 from the free throw line, 3 for 6. That's what you want to see from your team that's in the elimination game. And then, of course, what I alluded to earlier, Aerial Powers, 2 for 6. But you know what I'm saying, if we're being honest, the Dream probably lost this series last game. when they were on the road in Indiana and they were all up in arms about the calls, getting emotional. Like, that's what I need Carl Smithko to call them timeouts to rally his team, calm Jordan Canada down. Like, hey, that's we're on the road. We can't expect these calls. So I don't know, bro. Dream got to get it together, man, because you can't keep losing and spending all this money, man. Atlanta loves a game of basketball, but you can't go outside like this. Sorry for the long segment, but you know what I'm saying? With it being fresh, you got the raw reaction from Bacon. My bad. I should have kept the screen share. We got some more WNBA games to update on for the people. Let's see. You got Vegas and Seattle Storm, man. One thing I will say before we kind of look further into this game, man, similar to LeBron James, man, and we kind of look at Asia Wilson as a LeBron James of the W. Struggled last game with free throws and then lost a close game, man. I think she hits her free throws. She probably missed I know she missed back-to-back shots down the stretch from the charity stripe. So that's going to be interesting to watch this game. 2 for 2, good start, but we're going to see how they mount up. I'm saying third and fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Let's see. Naneko Ogumake, Skylar Diggins, who hit the game winner essentially, the go-ahead bucket against the Vegas Aces last game. You know what I'm saying? To stay alive. I mean, this is going to be an interesting game, man. It wouldn't surprise me to see the Storm win this. But you know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll see how Asia Wilson and Jackie Young, you know what I'm saying? We'll see what they have to say otherwise as well. Cheyenne Parker Tyus, former Dream player. But I know I'm talking a lot. I apologize. But just what's your thoughts on this game as well?
Yeah, it should be interesting to say the least. Big win last time out for Seattle Storm. Winning that one at home wasn't an easy game, but big win for them, being able to beat the Aces. So they're coming in with momentum. So the Aces going to have to be able to, withstand it. I think getting Chelsea Gray going a little bit, only 2 shots so far, letting her get the ball a little bit and get going. Same with Asia Wilson, having her dominate in the paint. I think it's going to be important. But yeah, 19-14 in the first. They're going to have to turn around in the second and try to get some momentum going at home for sure. You don't want to go out this early.
Absolutely. Let's see. We got some more games in the W. Looking on the other side of the bracket. Let's see. What's that bracket? Here we go. WNBA playoffs. Yes, Sirski. Need a bracket. I wasn't looking for that. Looking for something a little more sophisticated. On the other side of the bracket, man, I'm starting with you, brother. The New York Liberty and the Phoenix Mercury. That's probably one of the better series of the other playoffs matches. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, man. How about the Phoenix Mercury, man? A big win last night. Smoldering defense held them girls to 60 points. Game ball in that one for me goes to Alyssa Thomas, 15.6 boards, but their Saran wrap own ball defense made it tough. They held them to 12 points, I think it was second quarter, which was really they took advantage. It really took hold of the game. And they scored 26 points. So I think that the defense was the big story there, and their ability to defend at a high level against some really talented players. I know Brianna Stewart's dealing with a little bit of an injury, MCL sprain. You got Sabrina Nescu. But yeah, they're going to have to be ready come up tomorrow when that game 3 happens for it all if they want to advance. But that was a big win for the Phoenix Mercury on the road, and their defense stepped up in a major way.
So is it safe to say that you're giving a slight edge to the Phoenix Mercury right now with the status of Stewie being uncertain?
Yeah, I think Stewie's one of the top players in the game. She played a little bit, but she's not 100%. I think with that and that reality, I gotta give the slight edge to Phoenix for sure.
I 100% agree there, man. I think Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, and the rest of the Phoenix Mercury definitely have the playoff experience to get that job done, especially playing in New York. But last but not least, man, Minnesota Lynx and the Golden State Valkyries. What's your thoughts on that series?
I mean, Golden State, they pretty much spoiled it for you, right? Like this year inaugural year, you got a chance to put down. Well, I guess you could say you put them on the brink, but they were up like 17 in this game at one point, and then Minnesota comes all the way back, 24-9 run in the fourth quarter in this one in order to overcome that 17-point deficit. Just outstanding basketball at the end to just move on. Really feisty Golden State Valkyries team that has a lot going for them, but the game ball goes to Nafisha Collier, 24 points, 10-16 shooting on that one, and Kayla McBride added 18 points in that one. So, yeah, man, just being able to go on that run in the fourth quarter, turn up the heat and the volume and make it tough for them Shout out to them, man. But Golden State Valkyries, add a couple more pieces, man. They'll be just fine, man. I mean, they had that game in the bag, in hand. Didn't necessarily shoot the best, unfortunately, man. But the bench help they got from Monique Billings, that was huge in that game for them, and she played a really major role. But they're on the cusp for the Valkyries. Big year for them making the playoffs in the inaugural year. They add a couple more pieces, they'll be just fine.
I agree. The Valkyries will definitely be a team to watch. Shots in the fishing, man. Now, the Lynx are my pick to win it this year, man. Just that top to bottom, most complete team. You know what I'm saying? You know what you got in Fisher Collier. You know what you got in Kelly McBride. A good, you know what I'm saying, offensive defensive ratio type of team. And they're gonna grab boards and they're gonna facilitate the ball. So I'm gonna predict depending on what the Mercury do and depending on what the Seattle Storm do against the Aces. I think you can lock the Lynx in. I gotta see what the bracket's gonna look like, but you either gonna pencil in the Mercury or the Storm to play the Lynx in the WNBA chip. That's just my thoughts. All right, but we'll move on to one of the most sought after topics of the show, man. Where we add to Kobe Buffkin first. Kobe Buffkin was traded to the Brooklyn Nets for $6.9 million cash return to the Atlanta Hawks. Just what was your thoughts? What was your thoughts on that, brother?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we said at the top of the show. I think Atlanta's in a win now mode. I think that's why they made the moves they made, getting to kill Alexander Walker, getting the Porzingis, right, getting the draft picks they got, expecting the emergence of Jalen Johnson. You also got obviously Dyson Daniels. So you're expecting this team to be a top 6 team in the East this year, top 5 team in the East. So I think that move, not that Buffkin can't play, but I don't think they're in a mode where they can go and develop. I know they got the G League team and college Skyhawks do a great job, but I think it was at a point like with the inconsistencies that he had when he did play, I thought, okay, hey, we can get some extra cash. We might need this down the line for some extensions and things like that with contracts expiring and coming up for some people. So I think the Hawks just said, hey, he's a great young player. I don't think we're just in a mode for development right now. We need ready now players to play. And that's not a knock on Buffkin. I just think they need guys that they can plug and play and put into the lineup right now. And I think that's why they traded him.
100%. Best thing for him, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Dealing with the injury bug, you know what I'm saying? Really missed his opportunity. Once they brought in Dyson Daniels, once they brought in Nikhil Alexander Walker, you know what I mean? Once they signed Drusic, you know what I'm saying, from overseas, who we'll probably see a lot of this year. I just think he kind of got lost, you know what I mean? Lost in the shuffle. Had a good first game in the summer league, but kind of, you know, didn't see the same production. Send him to Brooklyn, get an opportunity to play more. I think the Hawks would have thrusted him into a facilitator type of role. He got enough scores, right? So send him out there to Brooklyn with a young team to continue to
develop.
Develop is the best word, man. I think that's the best thing for him, man. I'm sure he probably hates to leave a team that was going to probably contend for Eastern Conference Finals, be a top 5 team in the East. But on the brighter side, brother, you go out there, develop. And you can be the head, you could be the alpha dog on your own team, brother. So I wish Kobe Buffkin the best. I never will forget that 40-point night in College Park. Boy, was it magical. But like I said, we'll wish him the best, man. So last topic of the show tonight, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I think we got over 100 viewers. Appreciate all the love and support. But before we let y'all go, man, we had the up times out there in LA. No longer the basement team in Crypto Arena, but nonetheless, we'll play this clip from one of the reporters, update us on the situation. We'll give you our reactions.
This sandwich.
A good clip with that ad, man. We won't give Chick-fil-A no free promotion, so let that thing run out. But. Unfortunate, man. I haven't read this article too crazy, but you know what I mean, it's gonna be unfortunate if they have to forfeit the season. Not forfeit the season, but they lose playoff aspirations and go moving forward. But let's see what they got to say.
Well, they were on their jersey patch, and I think
they never made it there, right?
I think they never quite. Very soon after they made these deals, the company starts to fall apart.
Right. Yeah. Let's welcome in senior writer and scape David Dennis Jr. How do you feel about all this, David?
Look, this has the potential to be the biggest thing that Adam Silver's had to deal with probably since the bubble. When you think about all the moving parts that you have going on here, you already have a court of public opinion based on after watching Pablo Torre's investigation, who believes that there was something that happened untoward either with Ballmer or the Clippers or Kawhi or Uncle Dennis. You have a governor's meeting coming up where you have owners who are going to be asking questions about, is the guy the 1% of the 1%? And Steve Ballmer, did he do something to circumvent the rules? They're going to have a lot of those questions. And then on the other hand, on the other side of this, you got Ballmer himself, who has endless resources, who is going to demand that there be actual substantial, not circumstantial evidence in order to do something about this, because he's going to fight, as we saw with that interview with Ramona. And so it's all centered around, let's not forget, Intuit Arena, a place that's hosting an all-star game. So there's so many moving parts and so many things that you have to get right and needles that you have to thread if you're Adam Silver to finally get to the bottom of this. This is not the Joe Smith situation. There's not a smoking gun right now. There's not anything in writing that says, yes, we are going to circumvent the cap. This is about Adam Silver having to figure out the best way to handle this. And it's kind of a reminder that all across these leagues, NBA, MLB, NFL, that when they try to be judge, jury, and executioner, they often come up short in trying to actually get to the bottom of these things. Adam Silver has a tough task in front of him to figure out a very complicated situation.
Mm-hmm. So, man, what I get from that, ladies and gentlemen, that the NBA don't do the best job in their investigation process. So it's a possibility that they might let this go off and die and make it swept under the rug, which I'm sure it better suits the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, and Steve Ballmer. So it's still unfolding. Like I said, we will keep you updated when things get serious. And I know you can definitely stay tapped into definitely Naj's TikTok. Brother gives extensive and regular updates. You know what I'm saying? He definitely get tuned to Bacon Network on TikTok as I will update as well, brother. But just were you getting the same type of vibe that they're still trying to figure out the smoking gun?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're trying to figure out a lot, like you said, in the clip. There's a lot of moving parts. Is what Ballmer saying true, right? Or is he, kind of withholding the truth a little bit, right? What was his real involvement in it? Did he try to sweep it under the rug? We've heard and seen things about Kawhi. I think it's his uncle. Even with the Lakers, he tried to get part ownership of the team and a private jet and all this other stuff. So there's something there, what I'm saying, for sure. And I think the NBA does need to do a very conclusive job of reading into the tea leaves, going through the grapevine. I know, like he said, they're gonna have the NBA All-Star game there and the festivities, and I know Steve Ballmer's a billionaire and he got money and he does great for the league, but at the same time, think about how to look on the league if you sweeping stuff like this under the rug for certain people, and you're not applying the same, hammer to others. Not a good look. So make sure you go through the process the correct way. And if you got to drop that hammer, you got to drop that hammer. It is what it is. Like he said in his interview with Ramona, hey, if somebody else was in this situation, would you want the NBA to go to all the heights and all the works they had to do to find out the truth? He said yes. So they need to do the same thing. You don't get preferential treatment just because you're a billionaire. If you messed up the rules you didn't follow, that's what it needs to be. So I say the NBA definitely needs to go through the tea leaves and figure out and get to the bottom of it, even if it takes a long time. You know what I'm saying? They need to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then, hopefully they get this resolved before the season starts in October. If they don't, they need to either suspend, Kawhi, or they need to find the team, owner, whatever they need to do. You need to put something down on this because you obviously circumvented the rule.
Well said, man. Well said and very thoroughly represented. So I mean, yeah, definitely got to go through every turn over every stone, man. Definitely read every receipt, pull the books, because I know they're cooking the books out there in LA, man. That's a lot, man. Like you said, that was a good point by you about Kawhi's uncle trying, you know what I'm saying, get into that genie bus. He was trying to get ahead of everybody before they sold the team. but you can't let this happen, man. That'll be egregious. You know what I mean? That'll devalue and water down the NBA. The product that it is, people are already talking about the scripted stuff like that. But if you let some of this slide and it gets worse, then what does the NBA brand do? What are you doing for potential competitors like the Big Three? What are you doing for potential competitors like the overseas world that continues to teams to get solid tier 2 NBA players. Like you look at Brandon Boston playing overseas this year. You know what I mean? A lot of players are it's a couple solid players playing overseas, but nonetheless, Adam Silver's this is his biggest test. Like you did, like the reporter just said, outside the bubble, and you want to check all your boxes because you don't want to you don't want to be the commissioner that lets everything go crazy. So I'm sure he'll do a great job in this investigation, especially with the All-Star weekend being right in the place. What worse or better situation for this all to pan out? So, like I said, we'll definitely keep this story at y'all attention as y'all watch the show, and stay tuned to our TikToks for the latest. So, but as Najeh, man, I'm gonna throw it to you to sign us out, man. Again, great show, great guest. We appreciate Coach Chuck for coming on and chopping it up with the guys.
For sure. Well, as y'all know, man, it's been another great episode of the Sizzling News Podcast, man. I know where to catch us, man. We'll see you guys next week for our show back on Monday for football. We may do a live tomorrow, depending on how Bacon feels after the Griffin versus Stars Mill game. We may do a live tomorrow. I think I'm going to just chill this week. A big week coming up next week. So I think I'm going to just chill and get you guys' perspective at the games. And then, we'll go from there, man. And then obviously we'll have our college football recap show on Saturday night as well. But till next time, we'll see y'all then, man. Enjoy y'all Thursday night, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.